In the White House, President Eisenhower signs the proclamation that makes Alaska's entry into the Union official, nearly 92 years after Lincoln's Secretary of State bought the territory from the Russian Tsar for $7 million.
The Alaska Wild Project podcast is brought to you by the following sponsors.
Barney's Sports Chalet, supplying hunters with the best hand-selected gear since 1963. The exclusive home of frontier gear built for the rugged Alaskan terrain. Your one-stop shop for all your outdoor needs. Visit Barney's today at 906 West Northern Lights.
Arbor Digital, the forefront of digital assets, cryptocurrencies, and wealth management, providing a low-cost, research-based investment strategy for Alaskans looking to invest their hard-earned money. Visit arborcapital.io today to put your money to work.
Tailored Restoration 24-hour emergency home services, helping Alaskans restore their dreams since 1972. Services include fire, water, mold, post-emergency cleaning, repair, and remodeling. Give them a call in Anchorage, Eagle River, Matsu, or Fairbanks. Hit them up at tailoredrestorationalaska.com.
Total Truck and Alaska Overlander, Alaska's premier supplier for custom automotive accessories and overlanding products, providing all-inclusive rental vehicles and trailers custom outfitted to explore the Alaskan backcountry with a unique and convenient traveling experience.
Serrano's Mexican Grill, 2 locations, one on Tudor, one on Northern Lights. The Northern Lights location has their new tequila bar. Check it out. Also see their daily specials at serranosmexicangrill.com.
TheTreehouseAK.com, located at 341 Boniface Parkway, Alaska's own and grown cannabis and CBD store. Ask the bud tender what the strain of the day is to get your 10% off. The Treehouse, where the culture lives.
The Connoisseur Lounge, Alaska's premier locally owned and operated cannabis retailer, located in the heart of Palmer, Alaska. Their cultivated products include Snowcap Romance, Aurora Haze, Super Glue, and much more. Find them at theconnoisseurlounge.net.
AKO Farms, located in Sitka, Alaska, built from the ground up with concentrates as their single motivation, with exclusive products such as their sugar wax, full spectrum diamond sauce carts, and more. Ask your local bud tender about AKO. Marijuana has intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming and addictive. Marijuana impairs concentration, coordination, and judgment. Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence. There are health risks associated with consumption of marijuana for the use of only by adults 21 and over. Keep out of the reach of children, and marijuana should not be used by women who are pregnant or breastfeeding.
The Bait Shack, located on Ship Creek upstream of the bridge. Can't miss the bright red shack. They're the go-to fishing gear rental and guide service on Ship Creek. Tight lines and fish on. Come hook into the action with them. Hit them up at thebaitshackak.com.
Anchortown Dogs, located on 4th Avenue across from the old 4th Avenue Theater. Look for the blue and gold umbrella. From reindeer dogs to bomb euros, they've got you covered. Anchortown Dogs, your local gourmet hot dog and sausage cart.
Crude Magazine, Alaska-based media outlet using the last frontier as a springboard to discover larger truths about the cultures of our great state. Read more at crudemag.com.
Lawn Pro AK, Alaska's year-round professional property maintenance team. Services include snow and ice management, weekly lawn care, and more. Get your free estimate today at lawnproak.com.
Double Shovel Cider Company, located off of Arctic and 58th. Handcrafted Alaskan-made colonial ciders. They also have a tap room downtown on the corner of 5th and E. Stop by today and taste an award-winning cider.
Lady with a Plan, your own Alaska event planner. From scouting the perfect location to planning the tiniest details, specializing in event management and production for intimate social gatherings. Find Lady with a Plan on Instagram. Okay. What trail did you hike the other day? Where was this?
Oh, I can't tell.
Oh, is it one of those deals?
I can't tell secrets.
You gotta bring that closer to you there.
Well, if that's the case,
this will go anywhere you want it. Yeah.
Roger.
If that's the case, the answer is just Upper Huffman. I mean, that's just easy, and that's where you went.
We're just in Hatcher Pass, like.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
that works too.
I mean, there was like hundreds of people there.
Yeah, I can see them lined up.
Welcome to Alaska Wild Project, episode 73. We have our buddy Zach Kenner from Hardworking Hunter in here. Thanks for coming in, Zach.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
We
Boy, when you
appreciate
add
it.
Hardworking Hunter to it, it sounds so official.
It is
No,
official,
man,
man.
it does. It does. Get the mic like right, kind of right. Yeah, right up.
Yeah.
Almost like,
I want to taste it.
yeah,
Ooh.
almost.
Ooh, that
almost,
is a little crisper.
yeah, almost getting your like beard hair stuck in there.
It will,
That's
too.
kind of what you want to do. Happens to me every single week.
No, yeah. Thanks for having me on, guys. It's awesome.
Yeah, we were talking before we recorded on it feels like sheep season.
Yeah.
You know, and we saw your little video post over there on how it's just the weather's dropped, the rain's coming,
Yep.
it's go time. And,
Yeah, the
and
mountains have fog in them.
Yeah, it's nice.
Shocker.
It's nice. It
Yeah.
feels good. It feels good. It was too hot, man. I'm not a heat guy.
Me neither. No, we needed it. I mean, it was dry, very
Yeah.
dry. Everywhere needed it. Even Fairbanks got a good dose a couple days ago, I think, too. So.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah.
I wonder if that circle fire was it the one that's burning pretty hot up north. Did they?
Oh,
Did they put a dent in that at all?
I don't know.
Okay, yeah, it's like Healy-ish area, I think.
Is it Healy?
Yeah, up there.
I don't know.
Clear fire. I'm sorry.
Clear.
Clear
That's what
fire.
it was.
My bad. Clear fire. Yeah.
Clear. You know where? Do they have a website where you can look that shit
Yeah.
up?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
What is
Yeah.
it? I just Google like
like-
Alaska fire and it pulls up a bunch of other bullshit.
No, it's like something Firewatch. I'll pull it up
Okay,
real
so you
quick.
can find it.
Yeah, no, it's got like the latest and greatest and all of it. But
I'm just going to run down a little history on how we initially met Zach. We were deep in the Brooks Range and we
2019.
was it 2019?
2019.
And,
I was thinking about it today. I was like, man, what
It's
year
been
was
a
that?
minute.
Yeah, it was a minute. I think we came out skunked. We were
Yep.
heads hanging low, feet
Well, we found
dragging.
that though.
Yeah. You guys
Yeah.
had that deadheaded camp. In
Oh,
fact,
yeah.
that's why I stopped, right? Like I'm driving by, you guys had just got
screeching
back
stop,
to
too,
the
like-
pickup. Oh, yeah. Yep. Because I had been in there the week before and I was bow hunting and I came super close to connecting on a ram and it was like the next drainage down, I think. But then I saw your guys' pickup was there when I had left, and then I left for a few days, had to take care of some stuff, and I came back. And it was still there, but then there you guys were, and then I saw a curl, and I was like, "Oh no, they shot my ram."
Fuckers.
And then you came up and like, oh yeah, they didn't
Oh,
shoot
they didn't
my
shoot
ram.
it. Yeah.
And we're like, we didn't even see it. We didn't even see
No,
one.
Yeah, you guys walked right by it.
Exactly.
It's like I don't know how you didn't shoot it. I pushed it right to you guys.
Oh man, that's how it is. They just sneak in there and hide, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we come out and Zach comes up and we chatted for hours there as we're struggling. I don't know how many miles we put in that time. That was great.
It was
that
like
was great.
70 something. I clocked it for the whole 7 days or 6 days. It was like
Yeah.
70 something total miles
Yeah.
hiked. Yeah. The last day was really tough because we like packed up and went out and around and about and
And it was pouring.
fucking just buckets.
That's also
man.
partially the reason I was gone for 3 days.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's so
I saw
gnarly.
the storm coming, and I had just busted that ram, and I was like, you know what? And I was honestly defeated. Also,
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
I remember.
I
Yeah,
got
you
my
showed
butt
up.
kicked.
You're like, dude.
and yeah, because he was so close, I could taste it. I had him with right there within 100 yards, and it was just 10-year-old full curl.
Oh,
You
man.
know,
Did you end up going back in? I think you said you were going to
Yeah.
drive up and you were going to thinking about going back in there.
Well, so I did. I picked a different spot, and because there was another ram that I had saw. I went in, never did find him. I actually did. I found a deadhead too, though.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, right on.
He was. I think the way his curl was, I think he died in the spring where he would have been right at 10. And full curl. Yeah. I mean, looks really a lot like that one.
Yeah.
Same genetic. So
Yeah.
kind of shitty, really.
Yeah.
Finding them like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is, man. But actually, we were so excited.
Oh no, I was
Oh,
too.
we
Don't
found
get
it.
me
We're
wrong.
like, yes, we're coming
And
home
on
with
the way
something.
out, yeah. Well, we talked to a buddy that had a guide buddy up in that area, and they had found like 3 deadheads.
Yeah.
And then I remember catching wind of the one you found after.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's on Instagram or
Yeah.
you reached out to one of us or something, but it was kind of like, damn, well, that's why we only saw one sublegal ram, and like no ram. Like we saw a couple sheep, but like not a lot.
Yeah. What I mean, then we talked to who did we talk to, man? We talked to someone at the Coldfoot area there.
Just a local cashier.
Yeah, somebody that
Told
knew
us
what
about
was
the
up.
kill.
Yeah, something that it got all iced up and they couldn't move, and the wolves were able to get in there. But I think the one that we saw was like an avalanche deal.
It looked like it, or it had fallen.
Yep.
Yeah, or it had fallen.
Yeah, it happens. That's where you look. And if you're gonna just go, randomly looking for deadheads, like starting the avalanche shoots. You know?
I kind of wondered if it was one of those deals where it got so exhausted during the rut that maybe it was like looking around for food and just had its, it was just so tired and then it just gassed out. And
one thing too, though, the way that those just from the tops of the mountain, there's only one way to go, and it's down. So if those things get to rolling at all, it's like they're just
they're not catching their feet really.
Yeah, they're just gonna end up in those bottoms.
That's true. And a big ram, I think is like. He's been living up there for 7, 8, 9, 10 years, and he's knows the ropes, and he knows how to. He's had close calls before, and he's pretty well aware of his surroundings. But when they're just gassed out, exhausted after the rut, half the time I hear they're so tired they can barely even get up to find food. Then if you get early snow or something where now they got to really look hard for it, that they're kind of playing catch up, and sometimes it's too late.
Yep. Oh yeah, for sure.
And then they'll die off or fall or whatever. But yeah, it was kind of a reality check. Damn, this has got to. If you know of 4 or 5 deadheads in a kind of a general area, the population overall got slammed.
Yeah.
Mortality, not by hunters. It was just, Mother Nature decided that it was their turn.
Yep.
So.
No, it was I don't know. I stopped back in there last year actually. And picked up a herd of rams that I had saw from the year before. So I mean, there's a few. They're still there. Just not like they were.
Yeah, they'll bounce back. They'll bounce back.
Yeah, that's kind of why we kind of gave it a break there. But other dudes are still hammering it for sure.
They are.
I can't wait to go back. I got a different plan this year with Jack, our other buddy. But we're already talking about maybe next year going to go back somewhere around there, some of that area. I just love the Brooks, man. It's just my favorite place on earth.
Yeah, no, there's definitely something about sometimes it's not about killing necessarily the biggest ram, but it's about killing a ram in a certain spot. Like to me, I have a couple of those spots that I've been in. Honestly, low sheep density, but man, I just fall in love with the spot, and it's it would mean a lot to me. No matter how big it was, if I killed a ram there.
Yeah. Get one out of here.
Yeah.
That's a cool way to look at it.
Yeah. Kind of similar to, I've been telling you about Lucifer. I went with my buddy Jack last year in his area, and I spotted this one that has a deformed horn.
Oh, yeah.
It goes down like this, and it's eventually going to kill it. You know what I'm saying? Because I almost going to just go right under its jaw there. And I want that one so bad. I don't know why. I just want that one. I'm sure there was tons of other nice ones, but that one, it just seems man, I want that one.
Yeah, super non-typical.
Yeah, no joke.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Have you seen much of that? Crazy deformed stuff? I know I saw a guy that posted one that just had the one.
I've seen. I
see deer and stuff.
I actually haven't seen one myself that's been deformed, and I've seen pictures of them, of guys seeing them, but I haven't seen one.
Yeah, we were talking about the legality of it and where it was, because we couldn't. It was pretty far, but it was does it pass the bar one? The test? Because it was
So a guy killed one year I saw where it flared just straight out, but it was and I think he shot it was either 6, I think is how old it was, so it was not full curl on its normal side, but that one side
did a weird something there.
And he said he passed it the year before, even though it was pretty close to full curl on that weird horn anyway. And then he said the next year when he saw him, he got the perfect look, and he's that thing corkscrewed. It's there's no way. It's definitely a full curl, and he shot it. And it was young, but it was still cool.
And he got it sealed, right? I mean, fishing game still
he's
checked off on it.
He looked at I guess his biologist looked at it. He's I'm definitely giving that to you. You just kind of perfect at a side angle, and that thing corkscrewed. So it was pretty cool. But
that's a
fishing
tough
game,
one,
man. It's always nervous when you go in there and talk to those guys.
That's man, when it comes to the full curl
Certain
test,
feel to it.
when they're like right out full curl, it's so freaking nerve wracking, right? And anymore, well, I mean, what I've personally taken 2 sheep, and both of them have been 3/4 curls because I count rings. Because I mean, I don't know, I've handled enough of them that I feel pretty confident counting rings, and even on the backside, like the backside doesn't normally lie, right? And the ram I killed last year, it took me 3.5 hours to finally get the angle I needed, and you
get up in bed and turn and give you all the
he rebedded like 2 or 3 times in that.
It's awesome when they do that.
Finally gave me the angle where I was like, he's either 8 or 9, like for sure. You know, the 7 or 8. That's too close. Like, you got to let him walk. Yeah. But, you know,
nice. Yep.
But when you have room for error, like, and then he ended up being 10 anyway. He had a hairline that I couldn't see. So, you know,
even better.
Oh, they added one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. Because they took away like 2 from yours, didn't they?
Yeah.
Well, we thought it was 11.
One. So took away 1.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It was 9. And we were all like, oh, it looks like he's 10. Because we watched the one that we got out of there. We got 2, but I got that one, and we looked at it for 3 days, and by the 3rd day, it was like, man, like we're counting.
Over and over and over
like,
again.
Feels like 10 every time, but it was like, well, 9, yeah, we're good. But like, sure wanted to make it 10. They're like, oh, it's a false ring. It's like, I got the false ring whole like spiel, but it didn't match that one. So I was like, if that's what you guys want to say, fine. That makes you feel better.
Yeah.
And then I got shit for taking my first sheep on rings.
Oh,
they love to give shit about that.
I know. Yeah. Well, the guys aren't confident in it, right? I mean, obviously, if you're not confident in it, don't do it. But I'm more confident in counting 8 or 9 rings than I am one that's, you know, within somewhere in an inch of full curl.
Yeah.
Like I mean, because you know, another thing is you get that hairline, right? And the later in the season you get, the taller that hair gets, and so the taller that hair gets, a lot of times, like if you're trying to actually connect the tip of the horn to the base of the horn, that hair just keeps growing up, and that white gap gets bigger. And you know, just not something you can rely on. But rings never change, right?
That's true. I felt like I got dadded. Like we got dadded.
Oh yeah,
we did. Yeah.
Like the one guy, I don't want to bust out who it was, but the one guy there, he was just like, whoa. I just felt like my dad was like scolding us, like come on.
I got dadded hard last year too.
Oh, I bet you did.
Oh my God, I got dadded so hard.
I don't know. It's just me. I'm more confident in rings. I mean, plus there's only been a couple that have been taken while I was, you know, part of the hunt that were like obvious, you know, well over 1.5 inch full curl, you know, like obvious.
Yeah.
My dad's that we got for him, he was a ride out full curl, but same thing. I counted 9, and I was like, it doesn't matter. Like, and he was only on one side with like probably only 1/2 inch full curl, you know, but he was 9. So
yeah, it was official.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah, because yours was like hands down. There's no questions asked. Like flared out, like the Kuyu fucking thing.
Emblem.
Like it was like just like
yeah, there was no doubt.
It was like, okay, perfect. That one's for sure. You're shooting that one. Okay, let's watch this one for a while.
Yeah, so that's why we waited a couple more days to watch the other one.
Mm-hmm.
But like what's crazy is like my 2 rams, they would never be full curl ever. They don't have the genetic.
Right. They'll just keep going out, right?
Yeah, they flare too much. Or even just the genetic of mine from last year. He really it wasn't a very big ram at all.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as score goes, but he kind of, I mean, he just 3/4, just like a bloop. I mean, what, he's only got maybe 2 or 3 years tops to live,
on
and
average,
they're only going to grow a 1/4 inch a year on those last 3 years. Like he wasn't going to make it.
Yeah, it makes you wonder. Like, there's probably a lot of legal rams that get
let walk.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, and I think too, a lot of it is like a hunter standard. I know Jack's a big advocate for like, if it ain't broomed, I'm not even shooting. You know, it's like he's taking enough between him and his dad, and like he's looking for a specific. Like he's not going to shoot a close to it's 7 but full curl, or it's, you know, it's got 8 rings, but not, you know, you know, it's 10 with the ring. He's not doing that. He's just like, I'm either going home empty handed, or I'm going to shoot one that's like an old beast. Yeah. And that makes it easy.
Well, that comes with a lot of sheep hunting.
Yeah. Before you like decide you're going to go that route.
Yeah.
because it is a lot to like go in and be like, I'm probably going to come home empty-handed. Well, I think that's probably the real reality. Not probably, it is the reality most of the time, because you can see all the Instagram photos that you want, like a dude getting a sheep every year. That's not actually how it usually works.
Right.
Yeah.
One of your guys in the group might,
Right.
but not like you every time. Some guys do, and they got that spot or whatever. But I mean, realistically,
Yeah.
we're all going out there with the intention, but knowing that it's maybe not that likely, and we want the experience and everything that comes along with the mountain hunt. But you get one ram, it's like, yeah, baby.
Oh yeah. I mean, anymore. I'm just as excited if somebody, if the guy standing next to me pulls the trigger.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude.
It's
a
you
team
literally
effort.
did everything but pulled the trigger. So it's not like you couldn't have. It's just his turn or
Especially when
her
you're
turn. Like
packing half the thing out.
Is it the most group hunt you could do? Like you feel like when you're out there, like it's a team effort. You know what I'm saying? Hunting is kind of a solo kind of thing, or like a personal sport, I'd say. But man, that sheep hunting is like a team. Unless you're a solo guy, you know. What I mean? You feel like when you go out with a guy.
I would for sure agree. I mean, at least it comes out that way. I mean,
yeah. Oh, like if you go to get a moose, you don't say like, "Oh, we got the moose." You'd be like, "Brandon got the moose."
that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
That's true. I kind of
Right. Well, you go sheep hunting, like, yeah, we got one.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, totally. It's a we thing.
Yeah.
It's a group thing. Yeah, I'd agree on that. Well, and then too, when you go for moose, there's the herd, and it feels like there's maybe more of an opportunity that you could get multiple on that big game hunt. And on sheep, it's like, I mean, one is like amazing.
You're
If
lucky
you
to
get
get the one.
multiples.
Yeah.
It's like, which actually is kind of weird how that happens. Seems like it happens.
Oh, the double up.
The double up, because you got two. Usually the two hosses will hang out with each other, or there'll be 5 in a group, and 2 of them are legal or whatever it is. But yeah, you're right. It's like it is the group effort, because you get 4 guys going on a sheep hunt. 4 guys ain't coming home with a sheep.
No.
Okay, I'm not saying 4 guys go moose hunting, you come home with 4 moose, but do you hear about maybe 4 guys going and getting 2 moose more than you hear about 4 guys going and getting 2 sheep? I feel like you do.
Yeah.
You know?
Unless you're Joe Peters.
Yeah, those guys are lucky fuckers, man.
There's a lot of luck.
Him
in
and
there,
Brett,
man.
they 2 years in a row they've tagged 2
Yeah.
that were together
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
So
They got the hits.
they're on the streak.
Yeah.
They're on the streak.
Yeah. Let's back up a little bit, Zach. Let's tell people some of your history, because we know about it, but just like where you grew up and what got you into hunting and your leader. Start back there and lead us all the way up to your decision to move up here.
I think I have to start off by saying that, hi, my name is Zach Kenner, and I'm a hunting addict.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, you are.
If we could look up the definition of addict, I think there's different
I'll pull it up.
terminologies,
Yeah.
but the fact that it does control my life, I think is a fair statement to say that I'm an addict.
You plan everything around it.
It plans me,
Okay.
So I grew up actually in Eastern Washington, a little farming community, and we got an addict definition or what?
So this is the one that like pops up. A person who is addicted to a particular substance, typically an illegal drug.
I mean,
it's like
either way, I get a big dopamine hit, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So,
And it's usually legal.
for sure. But
Sorry, I had to throw that in there, man.
well, not even necessarily the kill. That's the addicting part, I think. And I mean, it's just all of it.
Hell yeah.
I love the prep.
Anymore, I'm so addicted to the journey that that's a little cliche at this point. Everybody's saying that, but I mean, just like I was telling you, but before we started recording, I've spent a week shooting my rifle, building the load, and it was stressful a little bit, but at the end of the day, I loved it. Yeah. And that's just one part of it. But back to where I was at.
Yeah.
So I grew up in Eastern Washington.
That was the first caribou call of the night, by the way.
Yeah, man. We slipped up on that.
Slipping.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yep. just notice that.
And my dad is a hunter, and I guess that's definitely where it came from. He was hunting multiple states before it was really a thing. Before the internet, and so I kind of grew up with a different perspective and that's in that mindset.
Like not being just locked in on this one area or this one state on this one game species. You're like seasons are turkey and bear and like deer.
Yeah, I mean, he mainly hunted deer and elk, but it was just I mean, it was the entire West was my playground, right? Not just the sagebrush outside of town, you know, and that was definitely influential in my upbringing. I mean, I hunted Montana when I was 12 years old, you know, as a Washington resident. And I mean, shot a little muley buck or whatever, but it's just that mindset. So like, I mean, I took off with, you know, a good friend of mine, my hunting buddy, when I was 17 and he was 19, I think.
Oh,
roughly.
you two going.
Right,
No
yeah.
dad.
We took off to Montana by ourselves to hunt antelope with our bows.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, in high school.
That's cool.
Like,
yeah.
You know, I think about that now, and I'm like, how did my mother let me go do this? I just take out, and at the time, right? I mean, I did have a cell phone, I guess, at that point. But no GPS, no inReach.
And there was no reception.
Oh no, you
shit
get out into Montana and there's no reception.
Yeah,
you know, eastern Montana where the antelope are. I mean, like you get a little bit of it in some of those little towns, but no, you're gone. And so it's like, so where are you going to be? In this 100-mile square section somewhere.
Yeah,
as 16, 17 years old.
Yeah,
you know, I might have been 16 and he was 18, and this was the catch on that one. So that's what it was. He was 16, or I was 16 and he was 18, because technically at 18, he's now an adult. And I got to do a youth mentor tag hunting with him because I was underage. So I bought a Montana antelope tag for like $30.
It was cheap.
Right.
Yeah. He had to pay the non-resident expensive fee.
Oh, yeah. He had to pay I mean, we split. I'm pretty sure we split it. But
makes sense.
But the guy at the counter, so we bought him in Montana. It was over the counter at the time, and I remember this vivid like it was yesterday. The guy at the because I grew facial hair early. I mean, really early. I had a full goatee in high school, no problem.
Oh, okay.
You know, and
I didn't grow till I was 30.
Yeah, and so here I was.
Sure, it wasn't peach fuzz. I mean, come on.
Here I was, a 16-year-old with a goatee, trying to buy a youth tag for $30 as a non-resident. And I mean, I got my driver's license. Like here, you know, it's all. But the guy at the counter did not want to sell me that tag.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm buying this.
You know, and then my buddy Derek, he didn't even grow facial hair until later.
Yeah.
He's the one that was 16.
Yeah, exactly. but anyways, I'd like to have that perspective. And then we hunted Idaho, both me and him. You know, out of high school and then into college. I mean, we were all over. And so that just and about that time. You know, like I would say mentors that I looked up to, you know, TV type status was like the Western Hunter or like Jason Matzinger, into high country, and even his early stuff like Pounder Horde Montana, where you're seeing these, you know, these Western style hunts, you know, backcountry hunts, and it's like, I'm gonna go do that.
Oh yeah,
you know,
and
I did it to some degree growing up. I mean, I was spoiled. We had some private land to go hunt the mule deer on, you know, when I was littler growing up, you know, and so it's like, you know, we go out and shoot legal, you know, 3-4 points every year. And it was, you know, about the kids growing up, and it was awesome. There was 10 of us, not all family, like friends and family that would have this chunk of private land to go hunt. And like I said, I mean, we're spoiled. So it's, you know, you get your deer every year but you know, that also kind of helps, like, you know, ingrain that into me where, it's life, right? Like I don't know any different.
Yeah.
And
but you wanted more.
You know, there was a switch that flipped at some point after high school, where, like, you know, into high school, and then even probably into my, you know, 18, 19, 20, where I went from kind of being a lazy road hunter to actually wanting to go do stuff. And yeah, I don't know why. I guess it's just a switch flipped one year, and it was all of a sudden, I'm gonna go climb that mountain, and then, you know, it seems like every year or two, you know, it pushed yourself a little bit farther and a little bit farther, and I remember specific hunts that were eye opening, right? Like I remember one in Utah, hunting the front there there's an archery mule deer tag, and it was kind of the first time I hunted Utah, first time I hunted really high country mountains with a bow. I mean, I did a lot of sagebrush, foothill stuff, but like, holy crap, this stuff's giant, right? 10,000 plus foot peaks, and elevation was a thing. You're hard to breathe. Yeah. But what I remember vividly is driving around, kind of learning some of the country and glassing up at these giant freaking mountains. Setting up spotter, finding ants for deer up in at the top, and going, well, I guess we'll start hiking, and realizing that it only took me like 4 hours to get there.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, holy crap, the pickup looks this big down there. And but that moment, like literally I can think of the mountain that it was on. It was like, yeah, this country's big, but there's no reason to be intimidated. And I was 100% intimidated at the time. Yeah. And
you talked yourself out of it most of the time.
You do. Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm by myself, and that's kind of far.
And I can tell you, that even happened when I came to Alaska.
Oh, sure.
Absolutely. I mean, and not saying that these mountains are bigger, because really they're not. But my perception of distance really changed when I came to Alaska. And I can remember specific moments where it's like, we're going to go through another drainage, another valley. And, and then pretty soon it's like we're 30 miles from the pickup. And then like the next year, instead of doing that again, I'm thinking, okay, we're going to park a pickup here and park a pickup here and do like 60-mile walkthrough. Just completely changing the game on, and then getting back to town, regrouping, and going to do it again. Yep. It's like, I don't know. And now I don't look at something in a total distance. I don't even really look at it as, I don't even think about it. I just like if I look at the lay of a mountain range and kind of pick my route, and it's like, maybe we'll get there today. Might be there tomorrow. Yeah. I just calculate in like days and sometimes hours. It's like, oh, it's going to take us like 10 hours to get there. Yeah. And just go. Like, what's what the worst that happened, that we don't quite make it and we have to get up the next day and keep going? Yeah. I don't know. It's just my mindset has changed.
Well, I can kind of relate to that, because as our first time going, initially sheep hunting, going in the brooks, and you go in there and you get past that first drainage and you go to the next and you're past that 5 mile point, and then you're like, holy shit, dude, look, as far as you can see
there's mountains.
Yeah. And you're like, oh my god, it's so far. And then as you push, and then the next year you go back and you're like, okay, well, now we need to get to the 4th valley. Yeah. And now we know we got to go to the 6th valley, and so it's just like it becomes almost smaller.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, you narrow it down.
Yeah. But isn't it funny how, like, the first time you did it or the second time you did it and you made it to that 3rd valley, and then, like you're saying, your expectations then changed to now, oh, we're going to the 4th one. But if you could remember you in that moment when you got to that 3rd one and you were dead and you were like, I got nothing left. And then all of a sudden the next year, it's not like you worked out more. It's not like you're in better shape. It's just your mind changed. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't really explain it other than it happens. I mean, it's a mindset change completely.
And then you think, like, the first time you go, like, oh, I'm so deep. And then you go again the next time, like, we barely even like scratched the surface.
Yep.
And then now it's like, all right, we got to get way back over there.
Yep. And then it comes into, man, I can't pack enough food, because it's like,
totally.
It's like a 10 days worth of food, and it's already so heavy, and I want like 20.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because anything beyond 10, man, it's just like a lot of shit.
Dude. It is. Yeah.
I mean, your clothes are the same, your pack, all that shit you reuse, but it's the food.
It's the food.
Because, like, my 10-day thing of food is, like, fucking 20 pounds. No joke. Yeah. It is, like, 20 pounds. Yep. And I bring a lot of food. I probably bring more food than, like, probably most, like, hardcore dudes. Yeah. I'm not hungry all day.
Neither am I.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
I like to eat,
Yep.
get my calories.
Well, there's,
not
when
be
it's
miserable.
nighttime and
it's-
you're in the tent or the teepee, there ain't nothing to do but eat.
Exactly.
You know?
And it's like there's a lot of discomfort and sometimes borderline misery that's involved in those adventures.
Mm-hmm.
And I think really good food and nutrition is such a morale booster.
Yep.
For me personally, in my head.
Oh, I'm the same way.
I like to know, like, if I'm going through all this and then now I'm like, I got a goo packet and a fucking barely any water and a bar. And like, that's what I'm eating till tomorrow, you
Yeah.
know? And then like, I may or may not have coffee tomorrow. Like, nah, I'm having coffee twice a day. All right.
yeah.
I'm having lunch every day. All right. Like, you see my candy bag, bro. All right.
I joke a lot, but sometimes it's not a joke that I'll eat a pound of chocolate a day.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
You know,
some days especially when you're defeated.
Yeah.
And it's just like, now you got to pack it all out. I was like, I don't say I eat it all.
I don't hide the fact that I eat a lot of candy when I'm in the mountains.
No shame, bro.
No.
shame.
Hell, I've even made posts about it. I think the one time, was this last year? Last year, I know it was. I made a post. I'm sitting in my tent after 14-mile hiking that day, and I got a bang and a poppy seed muffin sitting in my lap. And granted, I'm not packing a bang a day in there, but I did pack two.
Yeah.
I had one the next morning, and the one after that is like, you're not packing it the whole time. You drink those first because they're going to be gone. But it's like,
You look forward to it.
oh yeah. Then I don't know. I've also done this for so long, and I mean, man, I haven't counted in quite a few years, but I remember back in 2016, I had a pretty good season where I know I was in the field for more than 80 days.
Oh wow.
And it's like, that was just 1 year, but I eat so many dehydrated meals that I'm tired of them all. Like,
dude.
And I've done the dehydrate my own stuff too, to try to kind of mix it up. And anymore, I just don't have the time. I'm not saying that it isn't better quality, in nutrients and all of it, and better taste and the change up that makes it better, but I just don't have the time. So anymore, it's like I'm kind of more willing to pack a little more weight for things like a poppy seed muffin.
Yeah.
I go to Costco and I press those muffins down into pancakes, and so that like,
That's not bad, man.
That's not a bad idea.
They're a little heavy, right? But
it's
So
heavy,
what?
but oh gosh, it's so good.
Yeah.
I can't like I'm just so tired of all the mountain food. I'm just
you do get burned out, man.
I'm 100% burnt out of it. All of
Yeah,
it.
you spend
There's
that
some
much
of them I
time-
cannot eat anymore. I like one bite of it and like I just get this sour face. Like,
You're not into that high mountain chili anymore? I mean, there's beef stroganoff? I mean, you're over
so one of them, at the time, my favorite was like sweet and sour pork, Mountain House.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I loved it. that's what happened. I burnt myself out of it. And now I couldn't tell the last time I ate one. Burnt out.
That sucks.
Yeah, I just
There's a lot more options these days, but still, you go try them, and man, some of the companies haven't nailed it yet. It's just chalky. It's just, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's still room for a lot of improvement.
So now that we're down the food rabbit hole, so on this last brown bear hunt I did, the one thing I think I'm going to apply more this year than in years past is I'm going to pack a little bit more granola. And with some because so what I did is I tried the peak strawberry one that they came out with, and I swear they put strawberry milk powder in there because it tastes like strawberry milk.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
It's delicious.
I haven't tried it yet.
And it
I'm
turns
actually bringing
pink,
one
too.
on
It turns
this week.
pink.
Yeah.
And so it makes sense. It's like,
it's
that's
so
a really
good,
good
dude.
idea.
Yeah.
And then what happened is we were, you on the Alaska Peninsula kind of brown bear hunt, you're hiking up to a good glassing point and you're glassing for a while. And I didn't want to pack a jet boil. It's just, you're just doing little day hikes to that, and you're sitting there. Well, when you do see a bear and you do have to make that commitment, and what did happen, we left our hill knowing that we were not going back to the tent that night.
Yep.
And so it was, I would just kept in my bag just like 2 granola meals, and that was kind of, granted I had a bunch of chocolate and stuff too, but just kind of like what I would call real food, even though granola's ish. But
Makes you feel like you're eating a meal if you're like cracking a package and putting fluid in it and eating it with a spoon.
Yeah, I guess.
Real-ish, like you said.
It's real-ish.
Yeah, I think it's a meal.
Yeah. So
calories are there.
But like on that brown bear hunt, halfway there, we like hit a halfway point, got to the top of that one knob and picked him up again, and it was like, okay, well, I need to eat. So I sat down, pounded one of those granolas, and then we took off again. And then I ate another one after we had, got it all skinned out at 2:00 in the morning or whatever it was. And that was kind of, but what I liked, it was light. You just add water. You don't have to have jet boil to eat it cold. And it was good, filling, it was, I don't know. Probably I'm not burnt out of it. That's probably what it really is.
Yeah.
Like, come back to me next year after this year when I eat a lot of granola, and I'll be like, no, I'm not packing.
To the sweet and sour pork.
Yeah, I'm not packing any. That's
for breakfast.
Yeah, now that I taught myself through that, that's probably what it is. I'm just not sick of it yet.
Yeah.
So, but man, I wish they had some more flavored milks like that strawberry one.
Well, I found, we're talking about Peak, right?
Yeah.
The Peaks.
Yeah.
There's a High Mountain Berry one.
Yeah, I had that one too.
I haven't had that yet, but I don't know if it has that milky thing
It has milk in it, but I swear they put strawberry milk in the strawberry one.
Like Quick, like they
the
actually
Nesquik. Oh man,
the Nesquik, yeah,
because it is very powerful strawberry flavor. I mean, it's good, but it's so good. It's pink milk. Like, I mean, it's.
Do you ever eat it hot? You ever put hot water in it?
I don't.
Have you tried it?
I've never tried it cold.
Not in granola.
Well, it's made to actually eat cold.
I know,
but we always.
I eat it.
We put hot water in ours.
I've been out of it. I used to pack a lot of oatmeal too, right? Mm-hmm. And that I would eat hot or cold. But
sure.
But those granolas, I see them cold.
Yeah.
Part of it is, again, I didn't want to pack a jet boil.
No, I mean, it's way easier. Put water in it and go.
Light. Just trying to go a little bit lighter. Mm-hmm. Leave the jet boil at camp.
Yeah, that's great. Especially if you're doing the day trip is supposed to be a day trip, but if you do got to overnight it like what you guys did, at least you're
that's going to happen, right? I mean, we're packing the puffies and the rain gear. It's like we're prepared to stay the night out there. We just know it's going to suck, but that's just part of it.
Yeah.
Did you guys kind of rabbit holing off a little bit off the food thing? The bear hunt, did you guys end up never sleeping? Did you guys actually, did you get some rest after the bear went down and all that?
We tried. It didn't work so good. So, that particular, I almost just have to start from the beginning. We're going to come back to that.
Okay. Right? Okay. I was just thinking about,
we're going to circle back to who is Zach Kenner, because we kind of really got derailed off that.
Okay, cool.
Before you get back into it, I was curious when you started and you said you were going with your dad to other states and stuff like that, which I think is amazing because we don't get that up here.
Right.
No.
I still do it.
And the people down there are like, well, you guys are in the motherland of it all.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know what's better, but I was curious on how would your dad, would he get the hunting regs and stuff mailed to him back in the day?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And man, now that you really when I was really little, man, I really don't know how that even all worked. Now, I mean,
because how do you know when the seasons are and what you can get and all this stuff back then?
I know when I was, towards the end when I was going, so once you bought a Montana hunting license, they would send you regs every year, hoping that you would buy another license, right?
Okay.
You want like almost a subscriber type list almost.
Yeah, yep.
That makes sense.
And then, man, not really with Idaho, I guess. You just pick one up because, living in Washington, Idaho wasn't really that far away.
Okay.
And so, and back then, a lot of it, pretty much all of it could be over the counter. Anymore, nowadays, it's getting so much harder to find those over the counter hunts. They're one way or another, it's a draw. For Wyoming as a non-resident, they're general hunt tags, but it's still a drawing. And that's just the way they manage it, right?
Points?
Yeah, on points.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just one example. But it's a lot harder now than it was, 10, 15 years ago. And, I mean...
we are spoiled up here with that.
Yeah.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
But it's just how... I don't know. It's the nature of the beast. I mean,
But good on your dad to eventually go there and get the thing and get it mailed to him and
I don't even know what really sparked that. I know my grandpa, his dad, hunted Idaho quite a bit, right? They'd go down into the Snake River country and living in Washington, and they hunted both sides of the river. They would go down and have Oregon and Idaho tags and hunt both. Because it's all, it's all right there. Yeah. And that was back in the days when you could ride those, like little Honda 90s all over that country.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
That's what they did.
Yeah.
Even I know my grandpa. I know my grandpa hunted the breaks too. Like the eastern side of Montana, and that's probably definitely where my dad ended up going over there.
What do they call it? The breaks?
It's. If you want to bring up a picture of it,
because I hear that a lot and I don't know what it means.
It's the way the water has washed out the land, I guess, over time. It's like really, really steep, breaky country. And okay. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of the Badlands of the western of the Dakotas, and then into Montana. It's all kind of the very similar country, all along the Missouri River.
Oh, where it like chops up the terrain.
Yep.
Like it's
and I guess it's the breaks into the river, into the Missouri, right?
Yep.
So that's kind of.
Oh, okay, you're right. So it says
pull up images, Daniel. Go to images.
Yeah, well, let me just read it. It says, it's a series of badland areas characterized by rock outcroppings, steep bluffs, and grassy plains. A topography referred to as the breaks by locals, as the land appears to break away to the river.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dropping into the Missouri.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's flaking off.
Yeah.
Or like breaking off.
So the soil texture in that zone, they call it mumbo gumbo.
The other photo, Daniel, go left. Right there.
This one?
To the left.
This one?
Yeah, that would probably be a good depiction of like.
Yeah.
See how it's like chopped?
Okay. Yep. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
And so when it rains there, like your pickup goes nowhere. They're just dirt roads, and when it rains, that it turns into this
like
just
clay.
It's clay. Yeah. And they call it mumbo gumbo. And it will fill the traction or the tread in your tires, and you
just have slicks now.
You don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And so when like my dad still hunts that area quite a bit, and what'll happen is you go over in November when the deer are rutting and when you hunt it, and so it'll freeze at night.
Oh shit!
And then there's roads that it's concrete. You can drive anywhere, but then about 10 and 11 o'clock it warms up and you're stuck. Like no matter, like if you end up at all in a downhill hole, you are not getting back out of there until it freezes again.
So you gotta wait until night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Almost like early morning.
You get stranded pretty good, or some of the idiots that have never been there, I guess, or just aren't thinking, like dig them, spin themselves out into high center and they're stuck. And it's like
the frame's on the muck,
and you're not going anywhere.
Then it freezes back up.
Yeah,
it can get bad.
It's bad.
It's like, can we get a chopper out here? Get me out.
Yeah. But so that was a good question. I mean, that's all I can kind of figure is or you just like I said, if it was all over the counter, you just showed up and bought a tag over the counter, you had the regs, and figured out what you could do. I think
like what you do here,
or call them. There were landlines back then.
Okay,
right?
Yeah. Let's get out the old yellow book from Montana. And
call guessing. The local AD or the local game office and.
No, that's a good point.
Yeah,
that's a good question.
That was good.
Yeah, I never thought about that.
Yeah, and I've been really interested in the Western hunting. I think we kind of tentatively have a trip planned for Arizona.
Oh hell yeah!
We're
gonna January go down, or December?
January.
Yeah.
Yep. Bo, looking to get our boy Chad a muley. It'd be pretty badass when I go down and film it. But I got a subscription to Eastman Hunting Journal a few years ago. Mm-hmm. Great outfit, by the way. Those guys have a cool story. Eastman's Big West Hunters. Those guys are badass. They're hunting. Every year they put together like a supplement.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It would be like it's not called a supplement. It's called something else.
I don't know what Eastman. Everyone kind of has their own version.
Okay, but it breaks down like those blue chip and those different like colored chipped, like point draw areas. And man, once I started diving into that, I got turned off because the point thing was like. Yeah. So how the hell does this work?
That's what's awesome about like Arizona, in particular with archery, is they offer a lot. It's over-the-counter archery.
That's why we're going.
Yep, and I've done that hunt a handful of times. I went last year.
Have you really?
Oh yeah, I love that hunt. It's
Okay.
For one, it's especially living in Alaska. You are in 60-degree weather in January.
Yeah.
Like it is the nicest
Just
sunshine.
love
break.
it.
Oh man,
Yeah.
yeah, it's awesome. Now, I mean, I got
But
mad.
not too hot, right? Let's like just.
Oh, it can be.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Middle
well,
of the
especially coming from negative 20.
Yeah.
It
It's January. No shit.
Yeah, it feels hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Especially if it's when the sun's bearing down, that afternoon sun. I mean, it's hot. Yeah. No way around it. But no, you'll have fun. That's one of my favorite hunts. Arizona is one of there's a lot of public land.
Yep.
Which is when you're driving around looking on maps, on X base map, whatever you got, and looking for places to hunt. It's like you're cross-referencing the public land with what units are open, because they're not all open,
Right.
but there's a lot that's and both for coos deer and mule deer. And I normally target the coos deer myself.
Okay, cool.
I don't know, I've had success hunting muleys already throughout my life.
Yeah.
So
those
it's like
coos are real elusive and hard to get, aren't they?
it's just fun.
Yeah.
They're both species are rutting at the time, and so you it's a very target rich environment. Like you're going to get multiple stalks a day.
Cool.
Nice.
For the most,
Yeah.
I would say in general.
Is it a combo?
What do you mean? So
Coos and muley same
one
time?
one tag, but it's either species.
Oh.
But not like I said, not every unit is necessarily like open to mule deer and coos.
Okay.
It just kind of depends on where you are.
Where you're
Gotcha.
at.
Some units are, some it's only mule deer, some it's only coos. It just depends.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But just super awesome country. I mean, I love that desert in January. It's
Well, that was an enticing prospect for a West hunt, in my opinion. But that draw and point system thing was like, it felt like, oh, I got to buy points for like 15 years and then I'll maybe get a shot at getting this tag. And it's like, well, that sucks.
Unfortunately,
I'm not into that.
that's how a lot of the West is right now.
Yeah.
And there's no, and I don't see a right answer. No system is perfect, right?
Definitely.
I mean, so Idaho, for example, doesn't do preference points. So you have to, let's say it's kind of, just like Alaska, right?
Yeah.
There's no preference points.
Right.
You put in and you hope for the best. Well, yeah, I mean, imagine a 67-year-old dude putting in for like sheep down there in Idaho and has never drawn a tag. Now he would feel better, I guess, if all those years he's been putting in for 50 some years that he had points built up.
Oh,
now,
that's true.
It's still a false sense of security, I would say, because like for Washington example, I've got like 23 sheep points and I still have a less than 1% chance of drawing.
Yeah.
Right. Like no matter how many points I get, it really doesn't matter. It's still less than 1%.
Yeah.
It makes me feel better that I've got whatever 23.
Well, at least you can put in. You're going to be able to put in.
Oh yeah, I put in, but it's I don't expect to draw. I really don't.
Never.
And
that'd be the holy grail.
like a perfect segue into why I moved to Alaska was for that exact reason. I was at a Washington Wild Sheep banquet, and the president was up saying, like an intro to the banquet that evening. And this was like the second or third banquet I had been to, sheep banquet period. And I mean, I'd been to like some Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation banquets and stuff growing up because my dad was heavily involved. But
are those as cool as the sheep ones? I kind of
I think it depends. I think it depends, and because each chapter, right, is gonna set their own bar,
right.
You know, I mean, it's just it's gonna depend.
Right.
Some of them probably.
Yeah. I was just curious because these last couple have been pretty.
Yeah. But
Sheep banquets up here have
so I
been
was at
pretty
the Washington one, and he gets up and he says, especially for lower 48ers, right? There's a whole different mentality there between sheep hunters. Right? So, like a sheep hunter, oh man, you can't even really call yourself I feel like you can't even call yourself a sheep hunter in the lower 48 because it's just a matter of if you draw a tag. Right? I mean...
Yeah, because what are you just going to go do? Go up in the mountains and go through the paces but never actually get to kill one?
You're like...
So you could say you're hunting them, but you're just...
Yeah, it's... I mean... Yeah, like I said, I don't
I mean,
really.
power to the guys that are doing that if you are, because you're getting good practice. And
don't get me wrong, you can still buy tags, right? I mean,
Yeah.
there are sheep hunters that are going to Alberta and buying a bighorn tag, or going to Mexico and buying a desert. I mean, like,
Sure.
that
Doctors and dentists.
big bucks.
or the governor's tags for all the states, right? They're buying them, but it's kind of hard to. I mean, I guess you can say you're a sheep hunter because I guess realistically that's kind of a thing on your how you feel inside, right? Like, like that's something I want to do. You're going to put in the time and effort at these banquets and potentially go do either giving your money or giving your time on projects, because they have a lot more projects down there for like water tanks and stuff because it's desert, stuff like that. I mean, I guess like just to be the devil's advocate of what I said before.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's a good point.
I never thought about that though.
Just to kind of reinforce your comment, like, because you could say that and offend a guy.
Yeah.
Be like, what do you mean I'm a sheep hunter? I'm out here building that tank.
Yeah.
With the Kuya gear on,
Yep.
and like I've been on a couple hunts because he's known somebody that knew somebody that got a tag. And
Yep.
he didn't get to hunt, but he went on it. Like, if you just went once, you can say you're a sheep hunter, man,
Yeah.
and then you're
Yeah.
following through.
It almost comes back to the we thing. Right?
It's true.
There you go.
And for sure, the
Like a
first
team
sheep
thing.
hunt I was ever on was a friend of mine drew a bighorn tag in Washington. Like
You were a sheep hunter that trip.
I was that trip, I guess. But I mean,
Well, that's what I'm saying. You know, like, it just
yeah.
You said it earlier. Like, it's like it doesn't. You don't have to be like, well, I go every
Yeah.
year because I'm in Alaska and I'm spoiled and so I'm a sheep hunter. Like, well, yeah, duh, you are. But I mean, this guy down here might get one shot ever.
Or only
You can
get
still
to
claim it.
or
You can
only
still
get to
be-
go with one of his friends ever. Right? Like that. Like, it's a
They can still claim it.
God,
You
that's
can
a
still be
bummer,
the sheep
man.
hunter. Man.
and so when he gets
Yeah.
up in front of the room and is like, this group of people, the sheep hunter, is one of the more special groups of people that he felt a pleasure of being a part of. And what he said is like, because here you are, like kind of what I was just getting at, putting in your resources, your time, your money, donating to keep these sheep on the mountain. And realistically, the odds are that nobody in this room will ever kill a sheep.
Wow.
So when he said that, it just sunk, right?
Yeah.
It's like, you just killed all my hopes and dreams, and I was like, and I'd already kind of been kicking around the idea of moving to Alaska because I knew what was available up here. And in that moment, I looked around, looked at the three guys I was with, and was like, I'm moving to Alaska. Like, that's it. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, he just kind of like put the fucking stamp on that. Like, he's kind of right.
Yeah. And
opportunities are going to be pretty few and far between here.
And so again, back to the I'm a hunting addict. Every move I make in life for some way or reason has to do with hunting. I moved to Alaska to hunt sheep and goats, right?
Yeah.
That was the reason. And it took me a couple years to kind of button some things up down there and kind of feel like I was in a good financial situation, and move and whatever. It was still kind of a last minute decision where I was kicking it around. I'm moving. Well, then I had a pretty cool, actually as a cameraman opportunity come up, and I took the job actually. And it was like a whirlwind of it was a last minute decision, but it was right before hunting season and shit was rolling, and basically it fell through would be the short answer.
Yeah.
And this was like August 7th that it fell through, and I was like, I'm still doing it. I'm doing it. And I went back because at the time I was crashing at my parents' house because I was, like I said, I was kind of trying to get some things paid off and try to move up here. Well, I went back, I loaded up the pickup, and I entered Alaska on August 14th.
Let's go.
Because I knew it opened the 10th, and I knew I had to be here for 365 days. Mm-hmm. But even though I missed those first 4 days, I was still sheep hunting next year, or within that.
You'd hit the year.
Yep.
You'd be ready on the 14th next year.
And that's what happened. I ended up killing my ram August 17th.
Ready to go.
Man.
All year to get ready for this.
I want to jump into that. Let's take a quick break and we'll come back and do that.
Yeah.
Barney Sports Chalet, supplying hunters with the best hand-selected gear since 1963.
Barney specializes in supplying hunters with the absolute best Alaskan proven gear on the market for some of nature's most rugged and demanding terrain. Whether you're headed to the remote volcanic islands of the Alaska Peninsula in search of a brown bear, or the shale-infested glacial valleys of the Brooks Range for Dall sheep, it is critical you choose the right gear for your dream hunt. Don't miss Barney's exclusive brand, Frontier Gear of Alaska, tested from the high mountains of Tajikistan to the extreme conditions of Alaska. These products were designed for high performance and durability. Frontier Gear was derived from decades of experience hunting big game in Alaska. Paired with other top brands, it provides you the absolute best gear selection anywhere in the world. Stop in at Barney's Sports Chalet in Anchorage on Northern Lights or check out their custom website and reference tool at barneysports.com.
Arbor Capital. Arbor Capital is based in Anchorage, Alaska, and it's your go-to wealth management company. Arbor Capital is at the forefront of digital assets and cryptocurrencies. If you've been looking to invest your hard-earned money, or you just want to learn more about crypto, blockchain technology, or digital investments, give their website arborcapital.io a visit. What's great about Arbor is they provide a low-cost, transparent, research-based investment strategy for digital assets and traditional investments as well. arborcapital.io is your first step in putting your money to work. Let one of Arbor's investment professionals walk you through your options for financial growth and security. Start investing for the future today at arborcapital.io. Arbor Capital, your Alaska digital asset company.
Total Truck and Alaska Overlander, Alaska's premier supplier for custom automotive accessories and overlanding products, providing all-inclusive rental vehicles and trailers custom outfitted to explore the Alaskan backcountry with a unique and convenient traveling experience. At Total Truck, you can find brands such as ARE, RSI Smart Caps, Goose Gear, iCamper, Front Runner, Rigid Lights, Rhino Linings bed liners, and everything you need to outfit your truck or SUV. Alaska Overlander provides 4x4 vehicles and expedition trailers, custom modified for Alaskan adventures and outfitted with rooftop tents, fridges, and all the camping and cooking gear you need to start exploring. Visit them at alaskaoverlander.com. It's like a thick paper casing, and you trim that off, and then you can slice it up. It's got good flavor, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's better than the caribou one. I've got the caribou one
definitely.
before. It's okay.
The pizza pepperoni? Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's good. That's Indian Valley. They're solid.
Yeah. Am I on?
Oh, I turned the wrong one up. Sorry.
They're on now.
You're back now.
Yeah, we take a break and have to eat some food.
Sorry, we're munching for you guys.
Random change the subject. But
Okay, so you came back. You
where was I?
moved on the 14th.
Oh, yeah.
You decided you're coming up.
Well, you had something you were going to say. We talked about taking his first ram.
I think he just was ready for a break. He needed to get that break in there.
Maybe.
I was just see if you could circle back on it. But
Yeah, it's gone.
It's gone.
keep it moving. It'll come back.
Yeah, well. So you decided. So 365. For people that don't know,
Yeah.
if you're moving to Alaska, you can't just come in and start hunting as soon
Right.
as you touch down. They expect you to stay here a year.
A full year. Well, and
resident.
the key terminology is you have to move with intent to stay.
Okay.
I can't just move. I just can't just come live here for 365 days, get my sheep tag killed, and go back to Washington. Right? Like that is the key phrase, is with intent to stay.
How do you prove that?
There's different. Well, you really can't. I guess. But ways to
Like a good mailing
Like a
address
lease.
or something. Or like
ways to, I guess. How do I say this? Well, we'll just say ways to prove it to them, to the troopers is either you have a, we don't even have to buy the home, you just have to have an address, right? An Alaska address. The easiest way to prove that you started it is as soon as you get here, you got to get an Alaska driver's license, right? So then that's going to give you a date that shows when you kind of started, right?
Yeah.
At least it's a date on paper.
Yeah.
Have a job in Alaska, pay stubs. Yeah, then like I said, you don't really have to own the property, but like at least a permanent address. Those are the big ones.
Is it the same for the military guys?
No, well, military have a
special.
I definitely can't speak to all of military rules because I don't know them that well, but I know that I think theirs is shorter. I want to say it's only 6 months.
I think so too.
But I like one of the cool things for the military people is once they get here and they do get their residency and say they get shipped out, right, transferred to what other different station, wherever it is, out of Alaska, they don't have to give up their Alaska residency.
Oh, they can make that choice.
Right. And then all they have to do to maintain it is come back for like a 72-hour period, which I was like, oh, so you come back and hunt and then you're maintaining it.
That's cool.
Which, I'm totally for. Like
that's cool for those guys. That's awesome. It's cool they make those,
exceptions
for those guys because, whatever we can do for them, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
But, like I said, there's definitely some rules there that I'm not familiar with them all, but I do know that, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, you know who would know is Dave. BHA Dave.
Oh, he sure would.
He's doing the military stuff.
Yep.
I thought we did. We didn't bring that up with him when he came on.
I think we touched on it, but then Rab will hold off. But I do remember in our agenda we did want to cover that.
Yeah.
But you know how it goes.
But yeah, so
the Sidewinder. What do you call those bullets? The flyers?
Yeah.
See, that's the flyers. Whoa, don't worry about that little guy.
Yep.
That one's going 40 pounds or 40.
Yeah, 40, 50 feet per second faster. I don't know what's going on with that one. Yeah.
Call that a glitch.
Yeah.
Flyer. So before you decided you were going to come and you wanted obviously to sheep hunt, that was the main thing, I'm assuming. Were you already looking at areas?
Negative.
No, you came up.
I will say, I guess in my mind there was this persona of the Brooks, but I didn't know anything. I did not know a damn thing.
Yeah.
And still really didn't even once I got here that summer. I got a job, but it wasn't a very high paying job, and I really didn't have a lot of extra money to go scouting like I wanted to, right? And pretty soon sheep season's here, and I was able to get some time off to go sheep hunting because that was my prereq when I took the job. I was like, okay, well, I'm moving here to hunt sheep, and when sheep season comes, I'm going to be gone. And that's a different story for a different day, but he didn't believe me, I guess, because he kind of got mad when I left. But
I told you.
Yeah, I told him. I was like, I will quit. And back to that lower 48 kind of mentality that I will tell everybody today that I still have. I don't take any of these tags that I have up here for granted, right? I've spent my entire life down there coveting a sheep tag, and what's really badass is in Alaska, it's literally the golden ticket. You know what? That's pretty bad that they did that on the harvest ticket. I won't print it off. I go down and I get a golden ticket every year because that means something to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah, and. So this lower 48 mentality, I still use it. I still try. It's the only way I can try to let people see see my perspective. For example, that first year, I didn't make a lot of money. But yet I looked at that sheep tag as a $25,000 bonus.
Oh, okay.
Okay, because as a non-resident, you have to have an outfitter to hunt Dall sheep, mountain goat, and grizzly bear or brown bear.
So if you get a tag, you still got to pay.
If you don't, well, what do you mean?
If he looked at it as an outsider,
yeah,
and if he was going to come and do it as a non-resident, it was going to cost probably way more than that.
No, 25,000 is about the average sheep tag right now.
Okay.
There's some that you can get a little cheaper because some of them offer walk-in hunts that are a little bit cheaper. Some of them offer higher costing hunts that you're flying farther in a cub, whatever. But on average, I'd say 25,000 is a pretty good, and it has been. I feel like it's going to be 30,000 soon. Some guys are already, I'm sure, charging that, but it's in my mind, that's what I've tried. That's a sheep representation, 25,000. Okay. And so that first year, here it's I will quit because I'm going to go kill a sheep and that's worth $25,000. That's more than you're going to pay me.
Yeah.
Way more.
Okay. Well, now even recently, I'm going to jump forward a little bit. I still use that mentality. And this year, so I've been working on the slope for a few years. And the first year I moved up, I try, right? I try to be a good employee. I try to be a team player. I But basically, I just try to be the best employee I can be, and it's worked out for me up there this time because I ended up transferring away because they, instead of laying me off, they found a place for me somewhere else. Well, then just a different branch, still up there, but just doing different stuff. Well, then recently they've become shorthanded, and they kind of asked me to come back, and I'm actually happier where I am now, or where I was, and for a couple months they were kind of picking at me like, hey, you want to come back? You want to come back? And finally I just like, well, like, the only reason that I would come back is if I never had to work in August or September for as long as I worked for the company.
Just lay it down.
I just made it. I threw out the biggest curveball that I figured there's no way in hell they're going to say yes to this, right? And it took them a few months, but they finally called me like, hey, we'll do it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, it's kind of
the dream 60 days off.
Which if you think about it, I do 3 weeks on, 3 weeks off up there. It's really only taking one hitch off.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, when you really think about it, and August, September, and October. Well, August is still a little busy, but like September, October is kind of their slow season. So but like I was getting at, trying to be that good employee that shows up, has a good attitude, team player, does what he says he's going to do. Like, those guys are impossible to find now, right? I tried to make myself valuable so that I could throw out a demand like that. Like, holy shit. Well,
now's the time, man.
Now I talk the talk. I better walk the walk when I get back over there. Yeah. So, but anyways, what I tried to, the thing is like, why? And you try to explain to like my bosses up there where I still use that exact same terminology. I go, well, here's the deal. Sheep season, a sheep right now is worth $25,000. Like, how do you figure? Well, and I explained it to him. Like, I moved up here so I could get it for $45 hunting license, but that's beside the point. The point is it's still valued at $25,000. I go, but let's just take a step back for a second. $25,000 is only a 10-day sheep hunt normally. So now you're saying that that's worth $2,500 a day. And I go, and sheep season's 40 days long. That's $100,000 value.
Oh, yeah.
Now, is it really? That's maybe a stretch, but that kind of pencils out, right?
Yeah. So
now it's like I'm taking all of sheep season off, and if I have to, I will try to hunt every single day. That is $100,000 value. Yeah. That's a lower 48 mentality of why I will never take a sheep tag for granted.
Yeah.
Okay, like it's a big deal.
Man, there's got to be a slim amount of guys, and hopefully none of the guys are listening down there trying to do the same thing as you. But that is a great way to think about it and to look at it. And man, there's got to be. I've never heard about it like that.
Yeah,
have you heard about it like that?
No.
Okay, it gets better.
But that's because we're from here, and we've never had to think about it like that.
It gets better. Yeah. That's only a sheep tag.
Right.
I came up to hunt sheep and goat specifically, which goats are cheaper. A high-end goat hunt's 14, 15,000. You get them for 10, and probably even, I don't know if you get them for 9 anymore. But so there's another, 10 to 15,000. And then same with brown bear, right? Brown bears are 30 grand.
Oh yeah.
Okay. That first year I moved up here, or even just I know what I've hunted 4 seasons now. 18, 19, 20, 21. Yeah, this will be number 5. I can guarantee if you put dollar amounts on all the hunts that I've been on, I'm well over $500,000 into this.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
All right, so I'm putting a dollar amount to it. What is it worth?
Yeah.
Now, to someone who grows up and it's a $45 tag and hunting isn't their life, no, it's not worth that. But that's what it's worth to me.
Yeah.
Because that's what it would have costed me had I not moved here. And not that I'm saying that I could have paid it, but that's just, you just got to realize the value that actually has. That's worth that to somebody because they're paying it.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, the very well-off dentist or doctor who does, a dream hunt every year and has the money to do that is in 4 or 5 seasons he can accumulate that much.
I better take a step back here and kind of say that that's what these are worth. That seems like a lot. It is a lot of money, but I can guarantee you these outfitters are not making that. Okay, these are when you see the amount of cost that these outfitters are putting into one of these hunts. I mean, I they're not making 50%.
Oh, I wouldn't think so.
No, but
that's a good question. That's actually a good.
You know,
I never thought about that. What is their profit margin there? What is
it probably depends on the hunt. How much, I mean, it's
where it is.
On average, what do you think?
No, it's total variable. I mean, are they on a boat? Are they taking a cub? I mean, it's
or both.
What's gas costing?
Yeah, it's everything.
Like all of it, the whole season. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you got a guy who wants prime rib every night, or ribeyes, or are you buying mountain houses?
Yeah. Okay.
Right. I mean, there's it's everything. Yeah. It's. And because I know a handful of them, well, a couple of them really well, and I've talked to them about this, right? It's not as lucrative as it seems. It's not. Right. You're not getting $30,000 for a brown bear. I mean, say you get out on like you're hunting some of the refuge areas on the peninsula where they're they're special guide use areas, right? So I mean, we as a resident, you can go hunt them, but they're paying the refuge to be the only outfitter in that area, right? So they're paying. I mean, it depends on the area and what guys have paid
some
before.
Of those fees are insane.
Oh yeah, I mean, we're talking a lot, right? Yeah. 50 to 100,000, depending on probably. I mean, that's. I know what a handful of them went for, and they're in that range. So, and that's for like a 5-year lease. Okay, so now you're breaking it up, and then they're only allocated, say, 4 bear tags a season, right? Like, and then it just
it doesn't add up all the way.
It's not like they're making bank. It's not, I'm not mad at the outfitters that the costs of these hunts are that high. No. It's just what it is, right? I'm not pointing fingers at anybody, but that's what it's that just gives me a bar to, like that. That is what it's worth. People are paying that, yeah. So, yeah, like it's. I'm not getting so. It's so funny because I told a couple of my coworkers up there, and they're like, their mind was blown. Like, you're taking a whole hitch off, like, and I'm like, like they're probably. I mean, granted, they probably have a house payment and stuff too, which I really don't have any of that.
You should mention that. Like, you don't have kids, you're not married.
No.
You know what I'm saying? You don't have a mortgage.
I'm an addict.
Yeah.
They're just couch surfing, just hunting, and I mean that jokingly, like you're kind of like gypsying around.
Oh yeah,
in a sense, so that you can have this hunting.
Yes, I can have that freedom.
The freedom.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, when you look at it this way, especially working on the slope, which the slope is a pretty cool, it's very unique job schedule, right? I mean, I don't know why more companies don't do that.
For the people that don't know the slope, we're talking about the oil Prudhoe Bay slope.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, so you're working in the oil fields, and most of the schedules are either 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, or 3 weeks on, 3 weeks off. Mm-hmm. And I mean off. Like, when you leave the slope, nobody calls you.
Yep.
Right? Like, you don't hear anything about the slope until you fly back in.
Yep. And
that is, for someone in a corporate world job that has their phone on them, even on vacation, go ringing off the hook, like, it's kind of special.
It's a real vacation.
Yeah. And now there's trade-offs, right? I mean, you're up there for half the year, one way or the other, and you miss everything. It feels like
that's the truth.
Yeah, you're literally it's the same thing when you're up there.
It's good single man's
It's gone.
Gig.
Like the half my year is gone.
Yep.
But
you have the half of the year that you enjoy,
right?
You know what I mean? That you're passionate about.
But I think, like I was getting at, as far as I don't know why more companies don't do this. I think it provides a healthier mindset for employees, right? Like you get these big long breaks. You're not just weekend warrioring it, and it's like barely maybe feeling like you get rested or not because you had to go to kids tournaments or whatever on the weekends, right? Like, and then boom, back into the hustle on Monday.
Yep.
And I mean,
it kind of relates to, like, I've worked for Anchorage School District for 20 years. Same kind of deal. Mm-hmm. Like, you get that summer off, you get that spring break off, you get that Christmas break off, you get those holidays off, where you feel like you're not just like trapped in this job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You get that summer off where like me, I have kids and a mortgage and I have plans to buy shit. So I work in the summer, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Whereas I know lots and lots of teachers that go do awesome shit. Like I got a cool coworker right now. She's in Switzerland, like hiking around and like doing stuff like that. There's lots of people that just take the whole summer off. I don't know what that feels like. I've never done that. But there's lots of teachers, power to them, that just go and do all that stuff, which is amazing. Like, and they feel refreshed when they come back to work and re-energized, because it's draining to be a teacher.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To work with kids and stuff like that. And just to have that energy to come back, and it's needed. So it's 9 months versus like the 6 months deal that you're talking about. But you're right. More, and maybe with all this pandemic shit that's happened, companies have realized like, what's the best for, like I wouldn't say companies, I would say employees have realized like what's the best for me, and like you
quality of life.
making that call and saying, hey, I'll stay, but this is what I want. You know?
It's a ballsy move, and it's funny because like the leverage was kind of in your corner.
Well, it's like I said, if you are a willing to work person right now, not afraid to work, it is an employee's market.
Yeah,
100%.
Good way to put it. Yeah, 100% it is. I all my employees that for my business, like I gave them all raises. I'm like, what do you want?
Yeah.
What do you need? Tell me. You need this off. You need this. Like, okay. And I mean, they don't listen. Good thing, but they don't know. They could tell me whatever.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
Just come back. Please come back. You know.
Yeah.
And it is an employee's market.
Like for me, I had already proved myself to, like, you know, that other branch, right? And they knew there's no training, right? I mean, that's a big deal. Yep. They know what they're getting, right? And so
full plug and play.
And like I said, I talk the talk, so I better walk the walk. I better apply myself when I get there. You know, I mean, just don't fuck it up.
And they notice that. Yeah.
So,
I had a question. Have you found the Alaska outdoor community welcoming?
That's a deep question.
I know that
because there's different cliques. Okay. And I see them. I'm also, as much as like involved I am on social media or whatever, I'm kind of very antisocial. It's not that I'm antisocial. I'm so dedicated to my hunting season that like I haven't gone fishing in 2 years. Yeah. Like it's like I'm trying to side hustle, doing some things, you know, in some of my off time that, you know, I can make a little extra money for all that hunting season. And so I don't really apply myself to be involved, I guess would be, which actually that's a good segue into. I wanted to mention on how much I appreciate this podcast in particular, because you guys do talk a little bit about everything in Alaska, right? I mean, you know, you're talking about the iron dog when that's relevant. You know, we're talking about hunting right now. I guarantee there's going to be a podcast about this hike about that you guys got coming up, you know, with the family, right? It's like, I haven't listened to them all yet, but I'm sure there's fishing ones on there too, right?
We're covering everything we can.
Exactly, and I think that's awesome as far as like dabbling into all of those cliques, right?
So many.
So,
mountain climbers.
And that's one thing I really appreciated about you guys. But like as far as, gosh, in general I would say yes, right? But I definitely applied myself in. I mean, I volunteer in and dived into the Wild Sheep Foundation. Okay. I dabbled in the SCI too, like, you know, the hunting parts, and then I met a lot of people there, right? But man, like outside of that, I don't know. I just haven't.
Well, and those that you have dabbled in, have you felt like?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Welcomed, or do you feel like a lot of it's? I mean, like cliquey.
It is. In general, I was, because I kind of applied myself, like wanted to be a team player in the Wild Sheep Foundation. I feel like in general I was accepted there, right? Even as this new guy who's only ever shot mule deer in his life, right? Like, yeah. But I'm sure I had some haters too, you know. I mean, not necessarily saying anything in my face, but like, here's a non-resident coming up and shooting all my sheep, like, I guess. But so
You know, I don't know if you knew that, but Zach was doing all the video work for the foundation thing. What was up with
you had
that?
mentioned you were doing that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I just that was one thing that was one thing that I knew I could contribute early when I kind of was first reaching out to them.
Oh, okay.
And so I've kind of just became there. Actually, for the first couple of years, I was helping. I was even running their freaking Insta pages and stuff, like just trying to create buzz, and I don't know. It's a lot, and we don't. What's hard about it is I can't just sit there and post all my pictures, right? I mean, those are the pictures I have available. Part of it is Kevin Kehoe, the president. He trusts me enough now that he would totally let me gain or get a bunch of content from the community in any shape, way, or form that I really saw fit, as long as it benefited and he was going to help. And I've talked about like having contests or something, where send us in your photos, have some type of contest where, I mean, legitimately we'll give away a rifle for a year's worth of photos kind of thing.
Cool.
You know what I mean? And it's like, here, send in your photos. We're going to share them. They're gonna, we're just trying to create buzz about sheep, right?
Yeah.
Make people excited about it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of on me. I haven't done the time. Like I hate the term, but I've been really busy. It's just, I mean, I'm not even making time like I said, to go fishing.
Well, speaking on that, it just seems like you don't really think about the banquet stuff and all the behind the scenes of things that's going on until it's like, oh, the banquet's coming up and it's here, and then you do it, and then it's like out of your mind.
Oh no, I'm on the
for the regular guy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're having meetings every week, every other week for almost starting after Christmas.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
And most of it's gathering up stuff for the raffles, right? Talking to these companies and asking for donations and repeat, making those relationships with companies so that you can get the repeats every year. Yeah. Stuff like that. And then trying to reach out to new companies and then like for me, I mean, I try to build relationships when I go to these shows. So, like I go to the Western Hunt Expo in Salt Lake, quite a bit. I'm probably going to go this year. The last 2 years they were available, I went to the sheep show in Reno. And, nice. So which is trying to gain stuff for wild sheep at the sheep show is probably a little easier because they all have a sheep passion.
Yeah.
So it's,
how do you feel it's going? I almost feel like there's a resurgence kind of happening. Maybe it's on the uptrend, whereas like we've been going to sheep shows, I don't know how long, but it kind of seemed like it dipped and now maybe it's like back up. I mean, maybe you haven't been here long enough to know.
Probably not. Yeah. I mean,
but does it seem like it's
I feel like for what I've seen, it's either been steady or slightly climbing.
Okay.
Yeah. I haven't felt anything go down. I think that was before my time as to when there was, especially particularly Alaska wild sheep took a dive, and then now Kevin's kind of turned that around. And
I think he has. I think he has. It's maybe the information's better that's out there. Maybe we're just better informed, on what's going on.
Yeah.
But it seems like it's going good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the pandemic was weird.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And as much as like we talk about it nausea, like that stupid ass word, and like,
unfortunately, it's a part of our lives.
It is. Well said. But in your tenure here in AK, it kind of happened like right in the middle.
Yeah.
So there was like a weird, like I think there was a virtual one, which I'm sure was. That's not to everybody remembered, even though everybody coming together and doing it should be, big round of applause for still like putting in the work to try to make it happen under the conditions, right? But the Palmer show year, in 2021 was awesome.
The one in the tents, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was fun as hell.
Yeah, I was at work for that one.
Were you working for that one? Yeah. Oh, that's right. But you made the replica ram for the show, which that thing is so nasty. Should pull that up.
Yeah, the one it's
that replica. Yeah.
Is it the one that's colored?
American.
Yeah.
But This last year at the Denina, man, I mean, we had a ball, man.
Yeah.
Ran into you there, chatted with you. It looked like you were having a good time. You had your Wild Sheep Foundation vest, man, looking official. But
Oh yeah.
what a beautiful piece of art you made, though, man. Like, looks
Yeah,
so
that thing's
real.
awesome. So that thing's all plastic. I reproed sheep skull and then dipped it myself in the American flag. That's a lot harder than people make it look, by the way.
Oh, I'm sure.
And then I'm pretty good at
That's all plastic?
Yeah.
Wow, God, it looks so real.
Yeah.
That's
So
amazing.
that's my buddy's ram. He shot. That was his first sheep, actually. It's like giant, just 39 3/4. Like
I'm just going to retire after this.
Yeah.
Jesus, there's
goodness.
no doubt on that one.
that ram to me is like, no, he's not a booner. He's not the biggest, but he's like the perfect like look.
Oh, so beautiful.
You know what I
man.
mean? Especially from the front, right? He's got the check mark. Like, yeah, he's
Well, and then just the rings are so defined, and it's like
That thing's
he's
beautiful.
battle tested. It's pretty nasty.
Yeah.
So did you have to paint it? Like,
Yeah, they're hand painted. I paint them with oil paints just like you would a canvas.
yeah.
Is that a Talkeetna range ram by chance?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's weird.
That thing's beautiful.
Well, I've seen another one like that. In fact, I've sent you a picture of it. I was out at Tad's place in Eagle River, and he took a guy out, and they came out. They've been looking for a ram. He had been watching this ram all summer. Buddy's coming up. They're gonna go get this thing. He disappears, and this other massive Goliath pops out of nowhere that he had never seen before,
Oh yeah.
and it very, very similar.
Oh, cool. I'm glad the genetics are still out there.
Yeah.
No, that's why I had to ask. I was like,
Yeah.
holy shit, that looks like the one that I held in my hand. And I was
Yeah.
like, this is ridiculous how
Yeah.
massive for a doll.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, damn,
Yeah.
pretty
Nice.
incredible.
That's
But really
beautiful.
great work, Zach. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. That's beautiful. How long did it take you to make that?
Oh shit, that's a loaded question.
Yeah.
So like to do any repro that from start to finish on a reel set to pouring, well, takes 2 days. 2 days to rubber it. 2 days to, well, oh man, I don't know.
Is it like a pick away project, or you just like hunker down
so
and get it
when
done?
you start to mold it, especially with the rubber part, you kind of have to pay attention and get it done because
Okay.
what'll happen is silicone won't stick to anything but itself. Okay, so you put the first layer on and it's a really thin liquidy layer, and it's going to get down and capture all that really fine detail, and then you mix up some thickener in some of the like the third and fourth layer is super thick, right? Because at that point it's smooth. There's no more real detail to catch. But like between the layers is a time thing, because once that silicone gets hard, that's when like dust can settle on it, and then it won't want to stick as good to
yeah,
itself.
I won't adhere because
Right.
you got like a film almost
Yep.
of.
Yep. So
debris.
you want it to be like tacky but stiff enough that you're not going to move it when you put on the next layer, paint on that or brush it on or whatever. So
Yeah.
it's kind of when the silicone process starts, like you're dedicated. You're going to at least get it rubbered. But then after that, you make a mother mold out of fiberglass to kind of hold that silicone in place but when you go to pour them, and then that's another. The thing is, like with that fiberglass, it's a 4-step process. Because it has to be made in 4 pours, more or less. I call it pours, but it's you don't really pour it on. You kind of dab it on and use like mesh and stuff to fiberglass mesh. But because the mother mold, there has to be a shell over that rubber to hold the rubber in place, because you're going to peel that rubber off those horns, and then there's nothing in, and then it's floppy.
Oh,
Right.
gotcha.
Right. So you got to have a mother mold to kind of hold it in place,
Like a structure.
Mhm. Well, then it can't be, but then it has to come off, because you have to be able to get to the either both, to take it off the real one and the plastic ones. So it has to be done in pieces where you make like this part, let it harden, and then you have to put a bunch of wax on the faces of it so that when you put the next piece up to it, it won't stick to it. Right. So it has to be done in
So complex sound.
Oh, it is. Yeah. I mean, it's not hard. It's just a process.
Yeah.
And
Where'd you learn to do that?
I've been doing taxidermy forever. Like my dad has a shop growing up down in Washington, and
Okay.
yeah, it's kind of.
I want to go down that rabbit hole after this ad read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Treehouse AK, your one-stop dispensary located at 341 Boniface Parkway. Be sure to ask the bud tender about their deal of the day, because honestly, there's always something good on deck. And guys, listen, this is where the culture lives. At the Treehouse, their dedication to servicing consumers has been developed through a lifetime of involvement in the cannabis culture. They're committed to providing the highest quality products at whatever value your budget affords, while always maintaining the deep-rooted principles that have carried them this far. Their focus is on relationships over transactions, and you can always depend on them to treat you with the respect you deserve. Hit them up at thetreehouseak.com, and remember, you must be 21 years of age to enter their store.
Tailored Restoration, 24-hour emergency home services, helping Alaskans restore their dreams since 1972. Services include fire, water, mold, post-emergency cleaning, repair, and remodeling. Tailored has an emergency response number with trained professionals available to help you at any time, day or night. Give them a call in Anchorage, Eagle River, Matsu, or Fairbanks. Make an appointment today at tailoredrestorationalaska.com.
Since 2008, Serrano's is Anchorage's own new generation of old cocina. Their menu showcases the passion and love of their rich heritage and unique family recipes that have been passed down through the generations. Serrano's goal is to embrace and display trad flavors using the best ingredients that are available. They focus on making everything from scratch daily. In-house menu includes handcrafted corn tortillas, salsas, carne asada, and chorizo. But don't take their word for it. Experience their tradition and sabor for yourself. Locations on Tudor and Northern Lights, both with new tequila bars. Check out their daily specials at serranosmexicangrill.com.
The Connoisseur Lounge, located in the heart of Palmer, Alaska. The Connoisseur Lounge is Palmer's first locally owned and operated cannabis retailer. Their beautiful store is located at 226 Evergreen Avenue. The Connoisseur Lounge has exclusive cannabis products such as Snowcap Romance, Aurora Haze, Super Glue, and one of our favorites, Sugar Cookies. And if you're not into the flower, the Connoisseur can hook you up with edibles, vape supplies, and a ton of CBD options for all your health and inflammation needs. Check out their daily deals at theconnoisseurlounge.net, or even better, stop by the lounge today. Remember, you must be 21 years of age to enter their store. So you got into learning all that taxidermy from your dad?
Yeah. In fact, I wish I remembered. I could tell you what day it is. I posted a couple pictures not recently, but throughout the last year or whatever, where I'm like 10 or something, just standing there helping my dad at the shop.
Is it on your Instagram?
Yeah, and on Facebook too, I think. But
Let's see if I find it on your
if
Instagram.
I can just find the day, that would be
I was saying, Brandon, over the break, that taxidermy seems to me like it's one of those like family tradition things that gets passed down, kind of like leather working or, couture, kind of fine art kind of stuff that's like.
Or woodworking, maybe.
Yeah, or woodworking, kind of. But and then I asked Zach, I said, "Is there schools for taxidermy?" He said there is. Like you can go to go to school to somewhere.
Oh, you get trained?
Like a trade school. Yeah, like that. There's actually you can actually get a student loan to go do that.
I'll be damned.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really cool. I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have that artistic drive and patience and
it's
because you're gonna put a lot of hours in doing something that ain't gonna make you a lot of money.
December 2020, I think.
Oh wow! Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, freaking like a.
Oh, how cool, bro!
Yeah.
Damn, nice deer too.
Yeah, I don't even no idea whose that is. Like,
yep.
I don't even know. I don't know if it's my dad's or a customer's
working with
or
dad
what.
in the shop.
There it is. I just pulled it up on the TV.
Yeah.
There's Zach when he was like, I don't know, how old are you there? 6?
I really have no idea.
So with your dad working on something?
Yeah, maybe 8.
Yeah.
Maybe. I was a big kid though, so.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Way cool, man.
Yeah, I'll never forget. I broke 100 pounds in 2nd grade.
Oh no shit!
Yeah,
wow,
I'll never forget that.
Full, just husky boy.
Damn, you were a big boy, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Damn. Okay.
My son's in 6th grade. He's not even 100 yet.
Yeah.
No, man, he's string bean too.
Yeah,
like I said, I was a big boy. I learned to walk before I could crawl. Actually, I don't even know that I ever crawled because I was too fat to crawl.
just came out walking.
Yeah, I came out eating Costco muffins. Damn it!
Give me that poppy seed.
But yeah, I was like I said, I've been around it my whole life. Like I just I don't know any different. You know?
Yeah, this is normal. Mm-hmm. So you're saying that the molds, molds of the skulls and all that stuff, that's more like the you're not gonna find that. Like people hold that close to them. Like do taxidermies make their own mold, or you can buy the mold
okay. That's
for example, like the one
for a deer mount, right? Is
let's
that
say
what
for
you're
that goat.
He's got a goat behind us here.
So let's say that, like, is someone making that, or are you buying that?
I'm buying that.
Okay.
Right, yeah. So there are taxidermy manikin companies.
Okay.
Not very many of them, and then like a couple of the bigger ones have bought a lot of little ones out. So it's not very many to choose from, and that can. So for example, like a mountain goat life size mounts. There really is not that many to choose from. You open up the catalog, and there's I don't know, let's say 50 of them. Sure, but like this, we'll just break it into thirds, like where some of them are small, some of them are medium, and some of them are large, and then there's only a few that are like extra large. So so okay, so now you just shot a giant billy, but you only have like 10 mannequins to choose from. You know, there's not really, or might even be less for goats. Might even be like 5.
Yeah.
Or like bobcats, I'm real familiar with from growing up in the shop down there. And a big tom is like 25 to 30 pounds, and there's really only like 5 to 10 mannequins. And so it's like when people come in and have this idea that they want this mount done, and we're like, well, with the cat that you have, you actually only have these choices. I mean, there's a lot of, without going into like super custom, which is just not a money-making deal for the taxidermist. I mean, you can get it done, but it's going to cost more.
Right.
You can do anything you want. I mean, any position that you can dream up can be done. Don't let anybody tell you it can't. It's just they're not willing to put in the time.
Right?
Gotcha.
So,
man, you got some great pictures, man. Leading into that, I want to get into Hardworking Hunter and how you came up with the name, and anyone listening, that's the Instagram handle too, Hardworking Hunter. I love the name, your logo, your merch, and all that stuff. Like, it's
genuine, I guess, would be what I was going for.
Yeah,
right.
It is, man. It really just like nails it perfectly. And the only other person that I could say that is similar is, I want to say, Jeff's the mediocre Alaskan.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's just like he just is like, this is me. You know, this is it. And I feel like you're kind of in that same category where it's just like, you know, you're not like boosting yourself up like the baddest ass dude, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know, the top-notch trophy guy, you know? It's like, I'm just working harder.
I truly believe that anybody can do it, right? Like that, and I preach that. It's like, do you want to do it? Well, for example, throw my sister under the bus a little bit, but she had a second kid, got really big, lost a lot of weight last year because I offered to take her sheep hunting, right? As nice. Next to kin, and she hunts, but she's never like really mountain hunted, right? Hunted out of a backpack. Anyways, she worked her ass off last summer. Comes up, we had a good hunt, just didn't quite get it done on some rams. Had some people issues, but anyway, she did really well, and the fact that we got into sheep country and got 60 yards from rams, like, you kind of sheep hunted, right? You succeeded.
Oh, hell yeah. You did it all.
And
all the way.
She didn't kill one. But anyway, so this year it's like, I kind of asked her, I was like, well, do you want to go again? And, you know, it's like, she kind of hemmed and hawed, but it's like that's what I asked her. It's like, well, I can't make you want it, right? It's like, how bad do you want it? But I truly believe you can do it, right? You know, I mean, I believe anybody can do it. It's not. How bad do you want it?
Yep.
And so, yeah, I mean, I don't. Yeah, I realize I put out a lot more effort than some, but I mean, I don't like. I want it more, I guess. You know.
Yeah.
I just.
So that name just kind of come to you at some point? Oh, yeah.
So that, dude, name making is so hard. Oh, man.
It is.
2012. My family in particular, between me and my dad and my sister and my mom, like, I don't remember. I watched like 12 deer die or something. I mean, it was an unbelievable season. Some giant bucks hit the dirt, right? And there's always been this like voice in the back of my mind that, again, like with mentors, like, I mean, I was infatuated with the Western Hunter and Nate Simmons' work, you know, camera work, and same with Jason Matzinger. And it's like, that's what I see when I'm hunting. And they were very different than your, you know, whitetail tree stand or you know, at the time it was kind of a almost, well, kind of fake, but I don't, it just wasn't cinematic, right? Like I'm into the cinematic style.
Yeah.
That's just what speaks to me. Well, it's like, so, and anyways, I was looking, and at the time, it's like those two were the biggest, like, Western hunting TV type. The rest of it was, you know, like The Crush with Lee and Tiffany and, you know, all these whitetail type TV things. And I was very into it, right? It's like, I watched bull riding growing up, and I watched hunting TV. That was it, right? and so, again, I got that addiction started so young. And so I was like, man, I watched 12 deer die this year. And some of these bucks were freaking tanks. And I can be that guy, right? It's like, I know I can do this. Yeah. But holy crap, you start researching how much, you know, just one decent camera cost. And at the time, it's way more readily available now than it was then.
Yep.
And the cost was exponentially more for a higher end camera. And so anyway, I kicked it around for years, quite a few years. Well, I had like a little handyman. My parents bought me one for my birthday or Christmas or something, you know, standard definition, just a little handy cam type thing. And I made ground squirrel videos mainly, like we're, you know, just blowing up ground squirrels during turkey season.
Yeah.
And that was like one of the first like little music hunting videos that I ever made. And like I said, standard definition, just junk really, but it was cool at the time, right? I was in high school. And then, like I said, 2012 was when I made the jump. And after having that kind of a season, and I was like, man, I wish I had this on video.
Yeah.
Not really having any idea what I was getting myself into. I went out and I bought like a camera, like, you know, little handy, a Canon. Which one's that? Like the
Vixia, I want to say.
What's the number on it?
Shoot, I don't know.
XA, well, no, that was probably 4K, so it's one of the newer ones. But it was a just HD. It was like an XA20, I think.
Okay.
And I mean, I don't remember when it was at the time, $2,500 or something. Which for a guy out of college, like, I mean, that's a purchase, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
you're gonna go in the field with it. And so it's like a lot of potential harm to said equipment.
So, but I bought it. I was like, I'm doing this. Well, it was. I remember sitting at the time. I went into agriculture because that's what I grew up around, and that's what I went to college for. And that's at the time that's what I was working in. I was a commercial sprayer, and so there's a lot of seat time, right? Sitting and operating equipment, spraying fields, and a lot of time to yourself, a lot of time to think, and running just name after name after name through my head, you know, and then having a list of
would you write them down?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I made a list, and then I'd call.
It's like naming your kid.
Yeah. I'd call a handful of people, like, what do you think of this? What do you think of this?
Yeah.
Or Google it, right? And somebody already had it.
Oh God,
dude, it's so hard. Name making is so hard. Name making and like logo brand, you know, it is a challenge.
Yep.
Endless hours and back and forth conversations and shared text messages.
But I would say anyone that's out there to do it, just like if you have it, just Google it first, because if it's gone, don't even, just stop right there.
Yep.
Yeah, don't waste your time.
Don't waste your time.
It's hard. And so I'd come up with these good, what I felt like good ideas, and I don't know, just didn't roll off the tongue. And really, realistically, like, hardworking hunter to me isn't a very it's kind of long-winded. Mm-hmm. Not very good for making small, logoed, easy to sell stuff. Not that I don't really have a lot of merch anyway, but just at the time, like, it's like, oh, it's kind of long-winded. You know, you make this giant ass banner, and it's like, oh, you can't put that on a hat. You know, like just
It's gonna go all the way around.
Giant.
yeah, and it doesn't really break down small enough, like HWH, right? That's not really that doesn't turn me on very much, you know. Just, but anyways, that's what I went with, and what I liked about it is its twist on words. Hardworking hunter. What are you? Are you a hard worker that hunts, or are you a guy that hunts hard? Or are you working hard while you're hunting? Right.
Gotcha.
And it's kind of a play on words. So that was kind of cool, and that was definitely me, and it always has been.
Yeah.
I've put in. I'm not a 40-hour work week guy. It's well, I mean, even like, and that's why the slope even fits in really well. Like working agriculture, yeah, I mean, you're working 80+ hour weeks every week when it's the busy season, you know, and that's what we do up there, 84-hour weeks minimum, you know. So it kind of fit what I'm used to, but yeah, so that's kind of where that was born, and when I wrote it down on one of my lists, and then I would leave it and cross off ones that didn't happen, and write more down, and it stayed, and I'm like, the thing, I guess one of the bigger things of it is nobody had it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
You could buy the domain.
Yeah.
I got this one.
Yeah.
What's one that you thought of that was gone? You're like,
Oh
dang.
gosh, I couldn't. It's been
The
so
worst
long.
is when you like get one that you thought you liked, and then you look it up, and like, these guys aren't doing it justice. this isn't.
It's all devastating. Like, they're wasting a good logo. Wasting such a good name.
But then in that process though, sure, you're trying to think of something that'll sell merch, because I mean that's part of the marketing plan too, I guess, you know, your branding, all of it.
Yeah.
But oh shit, I just totally brain farted. Where was I going with that?
Finding a name, marketing.
No, I know, but I was like leading up to my punchline, and it's gone.
It's funny how that works, man.
Yeah.
I do that all the time on these recordings. I try to hold a thought, and it's like so much information and banter and shit goes back, and it's like,
flyer.
it's gone.
What?
There
I
you go.
I got it.
Yes.
Came back. Well, when you're trying to think of a name like this, you're obviously trying to have something that represents yourself, but then represent your audience. Okay, but then as you come up, you just get so frustrated in trying to find a name that does that then pretty soon you're like, well, so like at the time in the hunting industry, like Zach Griffith was a big thing. I don't know if you know who he is. He's a guy from Salt Lake. He's really not even in the outdoor space anymore, but he was one of the first Instagrammers, one of the first guys that blew up for hunting on Instagram, I guess I would say.
Okay.
And
What was his name again?
Zach Griffith.
Zach Griffith. Okay.
Yeah, and the thing about his is he just used his name, ZachGriffith.com. Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, so at the end of the day, your brand really, yes, it's cool if it represents you, right? But at the same time, people aren't going to, I mean,
They're not going to wear a Zach Griffith.
No, they're
shirt.
buying you. They're not really buying the name.
Yeah.
At least that's how I feel, right? I mean, yeah, this is obviously a good brand. They are just going to be buying the brand. But it's like, I'm selling myself kind of with this. So it does, at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter what my name is if I create these cool videos and create this product, they're going to be following me, whatever the name is, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of where it's like
They know whatever the title you created, but it's Zach.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so
it's the personality that they get attracted to.
Yeah, and following Zach Griffith, that's where I kind of at the time that's what I was like, you know what, like that's just his name.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's when Hardworking Hunter hit my head and nobody had it. I was like, that's just what I'm running with.
Yeah. Go with it.
Yeah.
You make lists forever.
Yeah. But it was hard.
Well, you don't forget it. You know, like when we met you back in 19, it was like running into you, meeting you. Like we chatted for hours. So it was like, wasn't going to forget your name, you know, after that much, dialogue, sharing. But what like resonated with me afterwards, like, damn, this dude like branded his own shit. Like just self-made, did his own thing. And it's cool because like, kudos to you for going out on a limb and, not giving a shit what anybody thinks or worrying about what, what the industry may think of you or whatever. You're just doing you.
Yeah.
And that's what like Instagram and that's what the social media platform is cool about. And Erica Smith just posted like a really cool video, like just giving a shout out to people, just saying like fucking just do it.
Yeah.
And do you, man, and don't give a shit what anybody says. There'll be haters, there'll be people that'll love you, there'll be people that'll comment, there's gonna be negative bullshit. But like fuck it, dude. Like do you. There's no one else that can do it but you. In your way. And like you're not letting anybody tell you how to do it. So man, I love it, dude.
Yeah,
like,
thanks. I appreciate that.
Totally.
I honestly think that you
take some balls to do this shit, man.
I'll tell you, Zach, you inspired us.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? When we first met, that was before we even thought of any of this shit.
This was just talking
like,
about
man,
it
look
all
at
the
this
time.
guy, man. He out there and he just got this brand. And you had your, I think you had your shirt on.
Yeah, the T-shirt.
You had the
and
T-shirt.
I was like, what's
look at
hardworking
this guy.
hunter? First thing I asked you.
I'm just like,
roll up on us in our camp in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it's just me. Like, I don't really do anything special. I got a couple videos, and it's so funny. Like, as a content creator, I guess would be the word to call this now. I am on the struggle bus. I haven't released a full film in 2 or 3 years, you know. I don't know, it's
a lot of work.
Yeah,
just editing. But man, you got some beautiful ones though. You got some really good films. I watched all your films. You got some.
Thanks.
Is it the YouTube channel too, right? Hardworking Hunter.
Yeah,
man. If you're listening, go check it out. Some of those mule deer hunts and stuff you got on there, man. It's awesome footage. It's cool.
I mean, not to toot my own horn here, but when I dove into that at the time, there was this thing called the Full Draw Film Tour, and it's still a thing, and that was very inspiring to me also, right? So and Jason Matzinger a lot of times had a film in it, but so what it was is it's this film festival that you submit your film and they go, anybody can enter. And that's one thing that's really cool about it. And I mean, yeah, Matzinger was in it quite a bit, and technically he's, we'll call him a professional. But it seemed like you don't necessarily see the same people in it every year. You're seeing a lot of first timers, and I like that.
Yeah,
it gives everybody a chance.
Yeah, they're going for it.
And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how cinematic it was, as long as the story that is told resonates with the audience, right? Yep. It does not matter what the high quality. You can film the whole thing with the GoPro or your phone good enough to make the Full Draw Film Tour, and I like that, right? Yeah. If that film moves you as an audience, it has a chance. It has a chance, right? Yep. Just to, I guess, encourage others to get out there and do it if they're on the edge of kicking it around, and like that was it. So anyway, so this was inspiring to me, and I would go to this film tour, and what they would do is they would tour and stop at random theaters around the West. So they would do it like a summer tour, and you would figure out what days they were at what theaters, and sometimes you'd have to drive a couple hours to get to it, but by gosh, you're watching hunting videos on a big screen, and real, authentic, right? Yeah. It's awesome. And at the end, for like me as a Western hunter, mule deer, elk, occasionally, you get a draw tag mount, go bighorn sheep in it, whatever. And it was all archery. That was the one thing about the Full Draw. They had a hunting tour, I think, also. It's kind of similar, but for me, I was a big time archery mule deer hunter, and that was awesome, right? Like that, like I bow hunted only for probably 8 years. For a while, and but anyways, so it was a goal. It's like, okay, I'm gonna get this camera. So this was the progression. I buy that camera for that one camera, and I said, okay, I have this camera. I have nothing to edit with, but it doesn't matter because as long as I can record the videos, I can edit them later. I can figure out how to either borrow a computer that's capable of computing HD quality, because at the time before, that was the jump at the time.
Yeah.
And HD quality video was like 4K or 8K is now, where if you were to try to put it on a computer from 5 years ago, you got a problem.
Yeah.
You know,
done, just sizzled.
Right. And but like I said, it didn't matter. get the camera, get the footage, right? That was my mindset. And so that's what I did. That first year I went out, captured a few videos on film. I'm trying to think of even what the first one was. Actually, the first one I ever recorded was a bighorn sheep. No shit.
Wow.
Yeah, a friend of mine, a friend of ours drew a tag. He was.
I've seen pictures. That big group of you guys went on that, right?
Well, I have two of them, and one of them's like super high quality, and it was not that one.
And that one's only like a year ago or 2 years ago. Is that
actually it's been 4 or 5 now.
Oh,
that came out like the first year I moved here. Well,
Okay.
Actually, it was the year after that. It was 3 years ago.
I thought one of those looked like a Mexico hunt, but maybe.
Well, I just posted a reel on Instagram of a Mexico hunt.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But
Anyway.
this bighorn tag. Well, obviously it was 2013 because that's when I bought the camera, and those sheep tags opened September 15th. That's actually what happened. So I shot my black bear that year with my bow in Idaho. I was like, I didn't square bears at the time, right? Because I didn't really know anything. It was the first bear I ever killed. But I know he was 6'8" from nose to tail. So if normally they're a little bit wider from claw to claw. So he's pushing a 7-foot freaking black bear, giant. Awesome. And I had no idea. But so I filmed that. I got a little bit of footage of that black bear alive before I went and killed him with my bow. But we were mule deer hunting, and I just bumped into it, and I was like, dude, that's a black bear. And I always wanted a black bear with my bow. Like that was, I don't know, at the time, that was just a little side dream that I had.
Oh, that's really cool.
So sure shit, I get in there and I get him killed. And so I didn't get the kill shot on camera, obviously, because me and my dad had split up we were hunting this buck. And then, we were split. I took just video of the bear because no one's going to believe me that I freaking saw a black. We were not in black bear country. It was pretty wide open.
Oh, okay.
It's like no one's going to believe me that I even saw a black bear, let alone. So it's like I just took a little bit of video of him so that,
to show the buddies.
Yeah,
he was
right.
Here.
Yeah. So, but then I ended up down there getting killed him, and all I did was just set the camera up, and I told a little story about it to the camera or whatever. But then that was early, like 1st September opening week. Well, then like I said, the first real kill I got was that bighorn sheep, and I put the little video together mainly as a memory for the old guy. He'd been putting in for 20-some years. Man, I forget how old he was, in his 50s, I think, at the time, and realistically not in sheep shape.
He wasn't planning on actually getting attacked.
Like me right now?
Yeah. His once in a lifetime.
Like a month away, bro.
We'll get there.
And determination. But anyways, that was like the first kill. Well, so then, but it was like, so that was kind of my hidden goal was I wanted to be on the Full Draw film tour. And the idea was like, you make videos, you get some followers, get on the Full Draw film tour. It's like, boom, you're going to get some products, some sponsors, something, that was like that was the easy train. Right. But I won't lie. So then, the next year, 2014, I actually filmed my dad whacking like a 194 freaking muley, like just a tank giant with a bow. And again, so this is 2 years after I bought the camera is when I finally broke down and bought a computer good enough to edit it so that I could edit it and get it into the Full Draw film tour submission before deadline. And I got it all done within like 2 weeks of the deadline and got it in, right? I didn't make it. The first time I had entered, first real video I had ever edited, and it didn't make it. And kind of a letdown, but whatever, I guess. But then those boys, Cody Kellum was the one running it at the time, and he reached out and he was like, well, what we're doing is, we really liked your film. It was good. It just was, just didn't make top 7 or whatever it took to make the tour. Yeah. He goes, but what we're doing is so we're going to make 2 stops by your hometown, like one in Spokane and one in Tri-Cities. They're both like 2 hours opposite direction. And he's like, and we want to play your film in the intro just as like a
local.
Local. Yeah. Fan. Forget how to say that. But yeah, local boy, right?
Yeah.
A local favorite.
Fanfare?
I'm trying to think of like local favorite or... Anyway, I got a consolation prize is what I got.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. Honorable mention?
Kind of, but really on them it was a marketing tool because people that knew me knew that my film was going to be played on the big screen locally, and they're going to come. So realistically,
they're selling tickets.
Yeah, it's a good marketing tool.
Yeah.
But for me, it was like, holy shit, my video is going on the big screen.
Yeah.
And I mean, it is like one little like theater. Realistically, in the grand scheme of the world, it's like this big. It's just small. But it was still like, dude, you're on the big. You're on the big.
Yeah, dude.
Oh yeah. And
Great feeling.
So that happened. That was 14. So 15, we go in, have a really freaking different hunt for our opening week, and I filmed it. And at the time, I didn't think that I would ever edit it and show it, and because I'm leading into this, but it was just I just didn't think that it was what the people wanted to see. Okay, and so I banked it, just put it into hard drive, move on. And then I didn't really get any other archery kills on film that year. There were some rifle kills or something. But the next year rolls around, and I didn't get anything good enough to put on film that year. And it's like, well, okay, well. So then I'm like, but I'm also in this kind of space of, well, I'm gonna at least just edit this and just put it out on my YouTube channel, right? Like, I'm not gonna enter it into the tour, but I'm just gonna. So I sit down and I start editing this film.
Like, you don't want to waste the.
No, I mean, it's just, I don't know. I kind of a year had gone by too, and I guess I felt probably a little bit different about it. And so I sit down and I edit this film, and pretty soon it's like I'm telling this story. And just the way I told it, I realized, like, you know what? This is actually kind of special. This is freaking badass. And I showed it to a few people, like rough drafts, and it's like, holy shit. And then I reached out to the new owner of the film tour. Cody sold it to Jade. And I reached out to Jade and I sent it to him. And he was like, this is a submission? And I was like, well, I don't know. I was just kind of to see what you thought, like, you think it'd be good? It's kind of rough, and I don't know if people want to see this. And it was like, no, like, you come over and I'll kind of help you tweak it a little bit. And like, and all he did was just some kind of little editing things. The storyline was all there. It was just really on some Premiere Pro stuff that I was totally green at. Yeah. It was more just cleaning some stuff up. It had nothing to do with like helping me really tell this story. And so I'll be dipped in shit, right? I made the full draw film tour.
Right on.
And lo and behold, like, after this is all said and done, we go down to Salt Lake Expo and they gave out awards, and I won the full draw film tour.
Really?
Yeah. They give 4 awards, and I won 2 of them.
Wow. What year is this?
This was 2016. Okay. Well, yeah, 2016. And what it was, and a lot of anybody who knows me has seen this video. It's on YouTube. Me and my dad hunted in 2015, Washington, Idaho, and even Oregon. Was a very, very bad fire year. And what we did, a short story, what we did is we found a couple bucks that had been burned, and we put them down on film.
Oh, like out of their
like my dad's buck had a broken front leg, couldn't hardly walk, and this fire had gone through there more than a week before that, and was starting to skinny down. Mine was on his last leg, like same thing though. He either his front feet were or his back feet were so burnt that they were just like the size of cantaloupes, like just.
Oh my goodness! Just
it's bad.
Flared up.
Oh man, it's hard to watch, right? I mean, it's like I said, it's sad. Like, you feel so bad for these animals, and we put our tags on them. We put them out on the menu, whether or not if we could even eat the meat or not, which I did, but most of it was fine. We cut some pus spots out where it had, they were
the burns
up.
had infected.
Yeah, mm-hmm. But I mean, overall it ate just fine. But it's just, I mean, that's not hunting, right?
Yeah, that's an unusual.
But what I did is I turned it into a conservation story.
Got it.
And that's what
attracted the
people's
emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. So you go to a show like that, and normally it's kind of good spirits. Everyone's kind of hooping and hollering. Dude, when an arrow hits an elk, it's like that theater erupts.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like it's a really cool experience to go to one of those. And when my film was playing, you could hear a pin drop. It was insane.
People are
It
almost
was
crying.
focused, quiet.
I will tear up if I watch it right now.
Yeah,
It gets me every time.
yeah.
And
That's good filming. That's good. That's good story.
And
That's
you didn't
good.
even know when you were doing it.
in fact, and I'll be honest, there's some backstory there where in the moment I was actually really pissed off because I had dropped my bow or something, and I had to put a couple more arrows into that buck that are on a film, and which really irritated me because
your bow was off on your first shots.
it was.
Okay.
Yeah, I hit a little far forward, and I actually didn't even hit. Like, you can't tell in the film that I really don't hit vitals. I hit too far forward. I put it through his shoulder more than an actual rib shot. But not that, I mean, he could hardly walk. He didn't go very far. I mean, I put him out, but it's like, I was so mad for the same reason that like when I was talking to you earlier about how much time I put into this rifle this week. I put more time into my bow, shooting over 100 hours a night. You know, I mean, those like 3-4 years, I was the best archery shot I'll ever be in my life.
Yep.
And
'cause you were practicing so hard.
yeah, and then so then in the heat of the battle, my bow didn't shoot right. I was so disgusted.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
And so
all that time
there was
put in.
that was part of it. Why I also didn't want to. I didn't know how to tell the story good, I guess, or in a good light.
Yeah.
And then after a year, like I said, I wasn't as mad anymore about that.
Right.
And then I obviously I'm saying it right now. It's not like I'm trying to hide it, but at the same time, it's like you have to publicly, as a content creator for like hunting, you have to promote a positive light, right, of hunting, right? So it's like I didn't want to show this animal suffering and then me shooting it, winging it, more or less.
Yeah,
it's like I'm not really embarrassed about it. I'm telling everyone right here, but it's like for the non-hunter that sees that, it's like you can't. There's some gray area there that.
Well, I feel like as hunters, we feel like
we've got a target on our back.
We do, and we have to show the best light of it because we do have the target on our back. Yeah.
So that's anyways. But so it's like there's this progression where I worked hard at it, and it's like it just literally felt like I couldn't believe, let alone that I was on the tour, that I'm standing up on stage with Jason Matzinger receiving an award.
Yeah.
Which
that's awesome.
Freaking
It was big to you, man.
At the time
were really
it was
into
huge.
that.
Oh yeah. I mean,
especially you said like growing up and like you're looking up to these guys and all this stuff, and to just
stand on the stage with him.
Yeah,
it was
amazing.
pretty awesome.
Yeah,
and he knows it. I mean, I every time I see him at the show, and I mean, like we talk, like it's acquaintances, friends, whatever you want to call it. But it's like we know each other, and and I've told him that. It's like, dude, that was one of the coolest things ever.
Yeah,
it meant so much to you.
Oh yeah,
that's amazing. Does QU still do their?
No, QU hasn't done the film fest. They only did it the 1 year.
Was it only 1 year they did it?
Yeah,
man.
And then the one to enter now, and this might be me coming out of a semi-retirement, I guess, because I haven't done anything for like 3 years. I really am going to do my damnedest to get one made for the Western Hunter is putting on a film fest. They did last year, and they are again this year.
Okay.
And
I got it here. It runs through April 23.
Was it April or February?
I
thought it was February myself, but I might be wrong.
Film submissions will be accepted until February 28th, 2023.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
February.
So now's the time to make the video, right? Like to make your film now, or like obviously
to film it now or to edit it.
Film it now.
Okay.
Film it, edit it, and then submit it by the 28th of February.
Yeah. It can be from this year.
Yeah.
Is there stipulations like you can't have posted it on YouTube or something?
No, none. You can actually post it, and I think it's going to be to your benefit. They changed it a little bit this year, but so like I know Chris Dunham, the owner of the Western Hunter, really well. Well, I don't know about really well, but I know him. I talked to him the same thing. I go to these shows and specifically talk to him. He's the most genuine guy you'll ever meet. What I truly believe about Chris is he's going to try to make this as fair as possible. And last year, I didn't enter. They reached out and they're like, "You can enter?" I'm like, no, I just haven't had time to edit anything. Yeah. I've got a lot of stuff backlogged on hard drives, but I haven't had the drive to edit. And but what I'm willing to enter this one because I think Chris is trying to make it as fair as possible. Because last year it kind of turned into a popularity contest, and this was their first run, right? And I just don't. It's kind of like a draw system for these animals, right? I don't think there is a perfect kind of system, but so you submit it. They have a panel of industry leaders that kind of go through and select some of the top ones, and then it goes out to a public vote, which is where it ended last year. And then this year, like, they're going to just take in the public vote into consideration, but then come back in and really kind of judge it from they have the, I don't know if it's the same panel but it's another panel come back in, take into consideration the votes versus what they think the quality is, and kind of like come up with the winners, I guess, but I think I think they're trying to get more people involved, and it'll be a wide range of prizes. So it's not like just the top people are going to win something. I think they'll be staged out.
Well, they have the category breakdown.
Yeah.
Before you go into that,
I
just want to say that I think that more companies should do this because of, like, we had Tana on and other people where they are taking these videos down. They're not allowing you to post this stuff on these places. And this is an opportunity and a place where you can submit.
It's a space where you can share this stuff.
Exactly. Sorry, go ahead.
With like-minded, passionate people that want to see it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, there is a lot of folks out there in the public, in the social media world, they don't want to see dead bears and blood and gutted fish and all that shit. Well, that sucks, but we like it. We'll see it. We want to see it. And that's where this space is available here. Professional long, professional short, amateur long, and amateur short.
Yeah, the categories.
There's four categories.
Okay.
Which is pretty dope, because then you got the hardcore, like, dude invests lots of money in his camera and has like a crew, and you're going to do the video. Or the DIY guy who's going to go out there like real deal Holyfield, like more or less that we can relate to.
You're absolutely
right.
Yeah.
This looks fun.
Oh, it's and then getting to see all of the submissions, right?
Yeah.
Like you get to see some pretty cool stuff
because they still put them out, right? They're like, these are all the submissions, and these are the ones that won.
Ooh,
that would be cool.
I think so. I think they do.
Yeah, because this is a place for you to like go look at it all.
Is there like? I'm looking at it right now, and I could dig into it more. But so where is this typically at as far as like
where they're going to show it?
I'm sure COVID's been screwing it all up these last couple of years, but I imagine moving forward, there's going to be an actual like a venue to go to.
No.
It's not.
So that one's like an online film festival.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It's not like the Full Draw Film Tour.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'd be so cool to do that up here.
See, and one thing with the full, like, so Chris is just trying to get people involved. It's kind of a marketing tool for the Western hunter more than anything, I think. Whereas like Full Draw Film Tour is a business. They're going around. Their tour now is huge compared to when I was in it.
They're selling seats.
Oh yeah, and they're driving out east. Like into the corn country and beyond. Like they're making a full U.S. tour out of it.
Wow,
and it's a lot of work, but it's cool. Like it's and they're selling merch and they're selling raffle tickets and seats. But like it's a business for them. Where I don't see where the money is being made on Chris's end. I think it's just a marketing tool and giving us a place to voice our videos.
That's cool.
I mean,
well, they had one at a fly fishing thing at Beartooth. I was gonna go with my son, but he had something going on.
And that's
I'm really bummed I missed
same
it.
Story, or same concept, I guess. But with fly fishing, man, I tell you what though, some of those fly fishing videos are pretty legit.
Oh man,
yeah. Shit.
Like I'm not really into that, but I get off on the cinematography side of it, where I'm dissecting the film for a different reason,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh man, that's a killer shot. Like, you know, just it's like that's badass.
You know, it's getting what they're putting in to get that.
Yeah. I respect it. You know. So
What's the prizes?
Recognize
They got prizes?
Oh yeah, like what is it? It was a lot.
Does it say, Brandon, on there what the prizes
Oh
are?
yeah, dude. Marsupial products, you know, vinyl harnesses, Stone
like-
Glacier packs, the Baku bikes,
Oh, yeah.
the e-bikes. Oh, I'm sure there's.
It said like 45,000. Yeah, $45,000 in prizes.
Yep. Yeah, 20 plus different prizes, sponsors. And they're going to release them here soon. They don't have all of it, but they're about to.
Yeah, they're still
To let
hitting
it rip,
people up.
but-
Yeah.
That's way cool that they're doing it. I don't know. I was just thinking
That
about
makes me want to make a video.
for sure. I mean, we've got content. I mean, obviously, you got to step our game up big time to get into this category. But
Well, it's not like the Full Draw Film Tour though. You know, I mean, they're gonna. It's not like only the top 7 are going to be
right
played.
now, there's those amateurs and
yeah.
those things. I mean, there's going to be probably a lot of really good stuff and a lot of stuff that's going to come through there. But hey, man, again, it's
Hey,
to
we've
the
put out
guy-
some.
Oh, definitely.
too.
That iPhone video, yeah. A little pixelated in the YouTube channel. Don't worry about that. But no, I mean,
don't go
again,
check that.
it's just like putting your neck out there and doing it and like
You learn from it.
going
Yeah.
for it.
You know, there's
It's-
only
it's
one way to
pretty
do
cool.
it. I
You
mean,
gotta go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't. Well, I mean, it seems I didn't get into the Full Draw Film Tour the first time, but even the second time, it's like, I mean, but I tried, I guess. You know, I mean, I put
Yeah,
in
you went for
effort,
it, yeah.
but it's like I didn't get in the first time. You know, I mean, you just gotta do it. And you gotta learn.
Yeah.
You know, and shit. Since then, I haven't really like even entered. Like I said, I kind of dropped off the map for a while.
Well, it's just a lot, man.
Yeah.
It sounds like you've established a career
Well,
for the most part.
if I don't have to work sheep season my entire life, I think I just established a career.
Well, I mean, I think when you were exactly, yeah. No, you just got the
Are they
the mother
hiring?
load.
Absolutely.
Well, it's
I would
funny.
like that same deal. Can I
was
get the
like-
Zach deal?
I was bouncing around the idea this last spring of like just changing up what I've been doing and
Yeah.
doing some stuff through the summer to make ends meet. And of course, I got a family and a mortgage and all this. So it's kind of risky to do all that. But I was trying to kind of finagle the same thing. I was trying to actually see if I could get August through December off because,
okay, yeah.
well, because there's really, really awesome hunting opportunities in wintertime too. And for blacktail deer and stuff. It's, I mean, you hit the jackpot because it's just not something that you can swing
No.
very often.
No.
You know, with having the shift thing and the whole deal. But
And realistically, as far as like work and money is concerned, I can pick up extra shifts.
Yeah.
You know, especially
Yeah.
in the winter when there's nothing to do here.
right.
Well, I shouldn't say that. I just don't partake in winter activities.
yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like I can put in extra shifts up there and pick up a few extra weeks, no problem.
Yeah.
That will allow that.
Well, and what I had mentioned earlier before I lost my train of thought was, well, you're doing that stuff. You don't maybe have that time to do the content editing and all that. Like,
I don't have it as much as I used to.
right, because you're busy, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
we're all busy, but I mean, it's Daniel, bless his heart, does all the editing for our podcast, and it's been growing pains, but he's streamlined it pretty good. But he's putting a lot of time and effort
Oh yeah.
and investment in something that he loves and cares for, and thank God we have him because it wouldn't
There would be nothing going on.
our product wouldn't be what it is.
Yeah.
But the video editing's got to be like next level time investment.
Some are easy, some are hard.
Oh my goodness, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
some of them fall right together. It's just crazy, right? And so I'll tell you, the hardest thing for me, and I think it's well accepted over most video editors, is matching the content that you have with the music for the feel that you're looking for, and it kind of all has to mesh. And finding that music is the hardest part. Where there was times, and there's even still is times that I just will like, oh, I'm kind of tired, not really tired, need to go to bed, but don't really want to like start my brain editing. I'll just sit down and start clicking through songs and listening to the intros. Like if I don't feel it, move on. move on.
It doesn't matter which one you choose either. There's going to be haters.
It's true.
music,
It's true.
dude,
But
doesn't
it's
matter
what I
you
just
do.
said. It's the feeling that you're
You
looking
want.
for.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
You're not going to please everyone.
No.
and it doesn't even and I can just tell from editing so many of them that it's like I don't even have to have a specific spot in mind for a song. I'm just sitting there scrolling through it, and it's like, ooh, that's a good one. Save that one. I can fit that into a somewhere later. Like, I like that one. I like the feel of it. I like how, you know, and keep going. And then there's so many times I fall asleep in my chair.
Well, you know, it's funny you said that because I know a lot of music producers, and I would tell them to send me originals,
Oh, yeah.
sounds and music and stuff like that, and they're like, well, you're doing it backwards. Like, first you should line up the thing and then put the music. And in my head I was like, no, I want to line up the shots with the sounds. That's how I do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if that's
Or at
these
least
guys were totally like, well, that's totally backwards.
at least the vibe, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I was going
Yeah.
for. I was like, I want this sort of like vibe before I to put the images to this sound.
Yeah.
It's just as important, you know, I feel like.
Yeah.
And he totally was just like, like, he's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, never mind, guys.
You watch my films. I'm definitely heavy on the music side, but music tells you how to feel. And so if you pick the right music, you know, like it can really, really add to a video.
Yes.
Right. It can also really break it, but in my mind, I'd like to think that I'm adding to it. And some people, obviously, they're like, "Oh my gosh, why all the rock music?" And it's like, well, I don't know. That's just what this video.
I had to change it because I couldn't fucking stand the song.
Oh yeah,
wasted 3 minutes of my life.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for commenting.
But it's just going through those catalogs of music that, oh god, it takes. And I mean, I'll tell you straight up on like that Burn Buck video. At the time I was like trying to buy, $5, $10, $15 like one-off songs to put on here for like, non-copyrighted stuff. And then I found this one spot, and it was higher end music, but he wanted like $150 a song to. Oh jeez. But guess what? One of them, I bought it, and it made that video.
Oh.
Right?
Okay,
like,
so it was worth it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I can attribute. I can guarantee I would not have won that had I not bought that song.
Yeah,
guarantee
that was it. That made it.
Yeah.
It gave it the feeling.
It told the audience how to feel. It told them that this is intense, that this is more or less sad.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And set the tone.
Yeah.
And I played it at the beginning of it, and I actually reused it at the end to finish it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, it's like when you watch a horror film or something, like something's about to go down.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because the music.
Yeah, it builds up to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's in my opinion, it's the most important part. It tells you how to feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's hard. That's the hard part.
And
too.
it's the hardest part because to match all that up.
Yeah.
That's what takes the longest time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's switch gears real quick. I know we're going kind of long, but before we get chatted, because we're definitely going to have to bring you back, Zach. I want to get into some kind of geeky gear stuff.
I brought my rifle today.
Yeah, man. Tell us what you brought, and then along with that, I want to know. Like, I know that you got something with QU.
Oh,
or you just like their stuff.
Yeah.
I'm always curious on
really.
what's like. What do you have? What's like something cool that you are like into right now? Like, man, this is like a must have. This bag is awesome, or this tent, or this whatever. Is there something in there that you're like, man, you guys should really like check this out? Is there something that stands out?
Give me a minute. Let me think about this for a second. That's a deep question.
Yeah, I know.
Because like every piece of gear, especially a backcountry. I'm gonna call it a backcountry mountain hunter. I'm not gonna really call it a sheep hunter, but I mean, yes, it is a sheep hunter, but a backcountry backpack hunter. Every piece of gear is calculated.
Yep.
Right. Mm-hmm. So.
Well, I'm just curious because as we move into the season, you know what I'm saying, of backpack hunting, like, is there a product that you've seen come out? You're like, man, this is really cool. this is new, or this is like some, or even something that, you know what I'm saying, you've had forever and you're like, I got to have this.
I was wondering what that was.
Yeah, I was wondering what that was.
I got one. This guy right here. This is my new geeky toy for the year, and it has nothing really to do with the actual hunting side of it, but put your fingers right there.
Is that air? Is it cool in your barrel?
That's a barrel fan.
Oh, cool.
Right. So you go to the range, and you shoot a group, and
you know, sit around for a while.
This thing plugs right in and blows air out that barrel.
Oh, what's it called?
Oh, that's a good point. Rifle Cool. Whoa. Rifle Cool, but spelled funny.
RIFLE, cool like the brand, KUHL.
Yeah.
Rifle Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There it is. There it is, guys.
$60, I think. Well worth the money. Holy smokes, it's well worth the money.
So how many rounds do you fire through before you plug that in?
Well, so I was doing load development this week.
Yeah.
With 2 rifles actually, and which actually helped a lot. So like when you're doing load development, you're gonna I shoot groups of 5. Okay. And it's just starting to get a little warm after 5. Mm-hmm. And so I with 2 guns, it's nice because it's like, okay, set this one aside, grab the next one,
let it cool down,
shoot 5. But so instantly after those 5, I put this thing in and I let it sit over there.
Oh, okay.
As I'm shooting this 5. And so like the second gun thing really helped as far as time saver. But I mean, your barrel's not going to melt down right away, but what really affects it is your barrel gets so hot that the mirage starts coming off the barrel.
Yep.
And affecting when I'm trying to shoot a freaking like half-inch group, having the mirage move my target's a problem.
This is with you when it's cold.
Yeah.
You ever go shooting in the winter?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Man, it's like
the mirage is bad.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like you're only good for like half a dozen shots and you got to stop for a bit.
But yeah, so this is my geeky new toy for this thing's awesome.
Yeah,
and I mean it's small. It has a
that thing came down. Oh, that's
kind of so you don't break it. And then like it goes into the action, and then you kind of just run the bolt back to hold it in place.
Yeah.
And I mean as far as I can tell, it fits all actions.
I wonder if they have that. Can that be adapted to blow up your airbag?
Oh my gosh!
Right.
That's a game changer.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's pretty heavy.
Is it okay?
Well, anymore, so I can run one of the thermarest.
They don't got the USB one yet.
I run the thermarest where you got the bag that you can I kind of blow into it to open it up, but then you like seal it and then compress it and blow it up. Well, you're getting like 2 or 3 breaths per one, really.
Yeah.
And
I just used that on our 4th of July. I was like, I never tried this thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
To see. Actually, it did. It cut it in half.
I mean, I'm not going to say that it's faster, but you're not getting lightheaded.
Exactly.
I don't got to show on how out of shape I am.
Yeah, well, especially you go camping with the family, you got to blow up 4 of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like that thing works.
Well, I mean, if you're just like going camping, like this would probably be legit.
Yeah.
I mean, there's enough air there.
Oh, that would work.
Yeah. Give it a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's really loud, and everyone at the range looks really funny when they're trying to figure out where that noise is coming from.
Oh, I bet. What is he got going on over there?
Oh, yeah. Guys walk by, and they pull the earplug out, and they're looking around like what
is this? Is this someone flying a drone around here?
Yeah, and I'm it's like every time I feel half embarrassed. It's like, oh, I just got a fan. Like, and then it's a big thing. A what? Like,
yeah.
I got to give me one of those.
Yeah. I mean, I saw it online, and I'm like, oh, that's badass. I got to try that. And I bought it knowing I had two rifles to load develop for, and I'm like, that's going to save me hours.
Yeah.
So it is, man.
Yeah.
Man, good one. Perfect.
Back to like backcountry stuff. I don't know. It's also important. I mean, nothing really new, but I'm like a firm believer in microspikes. Okay. And I don't go anywhere without them. Lifesavers.
Yeah.
Big time.
Oh yeah.
In mud, snow, glaciers. I mean, I feel like they really will cover like 75% of what people think you need crampons for.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I feel like you need a crampon for like climbing up ice walls. Okay. If you're just out walking across the glacier, like, fairly flat, but I mean, even some like plenty of spike. And they're small and they're light and compact and they don't poke holes in your backpack.
Yeah.
I like that because I know we've been on somewhere guys that bring crampons. I'm like, that's
It's overkill.
it's overkill, man. I'm not gonna climb this glacier, dude.
Yeah.
So the micro spikes, that's good. That's something I would bring, even on like a wet, muddy
mud. Yep.
climbing.
So you get on
hunt.
some of those. Well, even just sheep country, you get on some of those steep faces and it's grass, and then it gets wet.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just slicker and
Yep.
snot.
Especially if your boots are half worn out. I've been in that situation where I've literally had to wear them in the tundra that's just so steep that I'm just
So you're not slipping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mainly because my boots were wore out.
Yeah. I'm
You
looking
know.
into that.
Or you could
actually.
get a light snow overnight, man.
Oh, yeah.
It slicks everything up.
Oh, so
That's true.
and the way with like micro spikes is you beat them up, but I use them in the rocks. You can boulder hop with them,
Yeah.
and
Still get the bite.
yeah. Oh man, you stick to the like snow covered rocks. So actually, that happened last year on the second to last week of sheep season. It snowed on us, and yeah, it was micro spikes all day on running ridge lines
I'm gonna
because
look into that.
all the snow on those. They don't even have to be like super big boulders, right? Just some scree stuff where it's not like. It's like, bigger than softballs, but not boulders.
Yeah.
Where you're kind of rock hopping.
Yeah.
And where they're big enough to move.
Yeah.
That's where and you're working those rock fields, and the micro spikes have enough give in them to contour to the rocks and grab a hold of them, and whereas like if you try to do it with crampons, a lot they're so stiff that they could slip.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah. Well, good call on that.
Yeah. No, that's.
That was perfect.
It's kind of
that was
been
more than expected.
It's been something that I didn't even know about micro spikes until I came up here.
I didn't know about it till you just said it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've known of them. I just thought that was pretty much a crampon.
No.
But they're not.
No.
Yeah.
They're not. They're
So-
like they're a heavier duty, like just what do they call ice chain or whatever that they call
like
for
the
like just in town, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Everyone,
yeah.
Yeah, like I've got a set for my running shoes that are like the little spikes, and it goes right over my
Your tennis shoes,
tennis shoes. Yeah, but these ones are like
actual little spikes
for your mountain boots. Yeah.
Can you order up 2 of those?
Yeah, I mean they're not that expensive
Jamie?
either.
No, but they're kind of heavy, right? As
So
far
add that
as
extra weight.
but a non-questionable item in my pack.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's something I've never actually had.
Yeah.
Were those and a couple times up there in the Brooks, you get some of those weather systems that run through, and then we've just been sitting there waiting for the snow to melt because I was like, we're not going down that.
Or packing out a heavy pack downhill.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Traction.
Yeah.
Instant. Like
Yep.
don't even worry. Oh, in fact, we killed a couple goats on Kodiak one year. Not really a snow, more like a heavy frost. But we shot them on a north facing slope, which is frozen solid.
and I got no sun.
Right, and which is kind of not normal. They're normally on the south sides, but
Yeah,
with the ground was rock hard, and it was so steep that without micro spikes we couldn't have done it. Like, it was steep enough, and with that little bit of frost, I mean, it wasn't really snow, but just barely white with like frost, slick as shit.
yeah.
And put the micro spikes on, 100% confidence. Like,
Wow.
Just every step.
go. Yep.
That's good.
Yeah.
I want to buy it.
I mean, the combination between that and trekking poles,
Yeah.
and I'm kind of a douche now, and I run 2 whippets, but
Is that the
the ones with like the ice axe thing on the top, right? It's a trekking pole, but got the thing on top.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I ran one for a while, and I put myself in a situation where I wish I had 2, and now I run 2,
Yeah.
even though I don't normally need to.
Yeah. Those things pretty light.
That one time.
It's no different. I mean, you don't
different
notice
than a
it.
stick?
It's not pack weight, so like you don't really know.
Oh, okay. It's not you're holding it in your hands.
Yeah. And okay, game changer. I know I have a picture of this somewhere. I take pictures often. I dig the nicest beds to put my tent in with those
with that
things.
little thing?
Oh,
Oh, no
my
shit.
gosh.
Oh yeah.
I'm all about
Multi-use.
the luxury suite when I put my tent down.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's good. Especially in
actually
those situations
put the
where
work
like
in.
you're not in the best spot.
Oh yeah, you just
flatten
and
it
then
out.
with that
Wind or
thing,
whatever.
you dig out the high side and move it to the low side, and you're only moving half the material to get
To even it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
You're not just lazy and slapping it up and dealing with shitty nice rest. You actually
No.
like
No.
No, good sleep.
clean it up.
Oh yeah.
Good
Exactly.
for you.
Flat.
Good sleep.
Because it's easy to get impatient, especially if you arrive wherever, or you're like, well, shit, it's getting late. I got to just like figure out a spot now.
Yeah.
And then, to put in the extra work, it's kind of, you don't really want it. You're just like, I just want to get my bag, man. Like, I just want to get in this bag.
Got to be worth it, though.
Yeah.
Very rarely. I mean, I can think of the last time I slept on an uneven surface where I didn't even
You didn't put in work and
well,
actually.
it's not that I couldn't. It was so rocky. I couldn't dig.
Yeah.
There was
like,
nothing.
No option.
Yeah.
No, and we were just in a bad spot, and it was late, and the wind was going to start blowing even harder. And in fact, that night was one of the windier nights I've slept on top of a mountain, and it was blowing 50 to 70, and my tent was in my face, just.
Yeah.
But like that night I sucked. I was in an uneven bed. The wind blew on me all night. Like, it was.
God.
Yeah. Set up to fail.
Oh yeah, it was. but no, that's I run
part
two.
of it.
I run two of them now. Like, it's just.
There you
Nice.
go.
And now the new ones, which I've done recently to travel with them, because I take them everywhere. I take them to Arizona, even though I don't really. I mean, I need trekking poles, but it's like at that point, it's just part of my gear. I don't even. It's what it is. Well, the tops actually unscrew off now, and the first ones I bought, they were solids, and you could not take the spike or I don't even know what you call it, the whippet part off at all. Well, now, and so like that was kind of neglecting to buy the new ones because I'm like, I'm going to break that. And no, solid. Awesome.
Must be easier to
that's
pack.
And
up
so then
to
you can take them off, and then they're just
travel.
trekking poles,
Yeah. Oh, okay.
right? If you don't, and if, I don't know. Every time I seem to let somebody use one, they're like, okay, I'm buying one.
Yeah.
Yeah. They like didn't even realize what they were missing.
Yeah, and so like last year, I let someone borrow one that I was hunting with, and we went through. We were really pinched in this mountain spot, and there was only one way up these kind of little miniature avalanche chutes, and we kind of had to like climb up this finger, cross one of the chutes to the next finger, and it was a little unnerving. It wasn't. I mean, obviously we did it, but it was a little sketch, and I was like, "You want one of these?" It's like, because then what happens is if you do, like
if you do slip and
right,
fall.
but the cliff is like 40 yards below us. Like we get up high enough that you have time to catch yourself, right? I mean, that chute's cliffed out. You're screwed. But it's like if you do fall, you fall specifically just like you would an ice axe, right? You fall into it, you land on it, and you catch yourself, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's a more of a graceful plan to fall than because you're just in those scree slides where it's just going to slide out from under you.
Yep.
And
if you fall uphill.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're gonna fall up, and if you feel like you're gonna go, you just stop yourself with that thing, and it's like I keep it on my uphill hand, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
well, or like when I have two, then you just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck.
But I mean, I put myself in some avalanche. Well, one avalanche chute particular, I went down it and realized about 3/4 of the way down it that I was cliffed out, and then I had to turn around and climb back out of it.
Oh.
And that's where it's like I dug a shelf with it, which is, I did that with my Ram last year too with it. I was in a scree slide, super steep. It took me 35, 40 minutes, but because it's like as I would dig, it would just keep falling into itself.
Oh.
But I'm by myself on this freaking scree slide. It's if I start to work on that Ram, he's going down. He's rolling down the mountain.
Oh, right.
Right. So it's like I had to sit there and dig a shelf with that thing, and then way easier on your hands. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, and that thing moves dirt.
You
You'd
found
be
plenty
surprised.
of like reasons why,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
scenarios where you
Mm-hmm.
how would you have done it any other way?
Yeah.
Right on. Zach, we appreciate you coming in.
Hey, no, this has been awesome. Thanks for having me.
Man, we'll have to have you back in because I didn't hit like 20 of the points I wanted
We'll
to get
just
with you.
roll that agenda over into the next round.
Oh yeah, no problem. I mean,
Yeah.
the one thing I'm good for is a good story. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for the stories. Anyone listening, if you want to check out Zach Kenner's stuff, it's Hardworking Hunter on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube as well.
Yeah.
Same thing, Hardworking Hunter. Good luck out there this season.
yeah, you guys too.
And,
Keep in touch.
We look forward to having a video come out.
Yeah, I've already mentally kind of ran this in my head.
So I just got to
it's,
go shoot the footage.
a lot of it's already shot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Now you just need to edit it.
Uh-huh.
Do you have some plans though this year to get the camera out and get after it?
I pack it everywhere.
Okay.
It's just a matter of I pack them everywhere, which sometimes I get out there and I half-ass it, and then I wish I wouldn't have. And sometimes I half-ass it and it's good enough, and sometimes I do a good job. It's like it kind of all depends on like if I get a really good kill scene or if I get some really good B-roll of live animals. You know, kind of like, I don't know. Me personally, I get tired of filming or even watching people's films where they're just walking around hiking, right? It's like I want it to be interesting.
Yeah.
And so but no, I mean I pack cameras everywhere, so it's just a matter of capturing something that I think's worthy, I guess, you know.
You'll be getting after the content then.
Yeah, but I'll just fucking spill the beans a little quick. So like the video on this on this Western Hunter one, I know I'm kind of I'm talking the talk. I'm gonna have to walk the walk on this one.
Okay, here we go.
We brought you in to talk, Zach. We brought you in to talk.
I'm gonna tell my story kind of like what I already did with you guys tonight. I mean, there was a lot of rabbit holes, but it's like I want to tell. I have so much freaking cool video that it's like I want to kind of tell this story and my story, not like necessarily as from a kid, but at least my Alaska story, the whole thing. And I've kind of somewhat told that with like my sheep video that I have out. My first ram video is on YouTube. And I've wrote that same kind of story in a couple magazine articles, where, I moved to Alaska because it was the dream, shot my shit. Like, you know, but, I want to title it Follow Your Dream. Okay. And I want it, I'm going to,
a progression video.
Yeah, a progression. And then on top of that, there may be a pinnacle hunt happening this fall that I haven't really dropped the beans on.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
cool.
So it's going to end with that.
Yeah.
But, you know, those videos, even the long ones, are only 30 minutes. So it's going to be 15 minutes of a history kind of progression, and then 15 minutes of
the hunt.
A compelling story.
Yeah. And because legitimate, I booked my first guided hunt this year.
Wow.
I paid money to go shoot something.
Wow, good for you.
So, anyways.
Good for you.
I'm not normally that guy, which I don't really have anything against it. Like I am a public supporter of all kinds of hunting. Fence, go do your thing. I don't care, right? That's if that's what turns you, that's good.
Yeah. You're hunting.
You know, I mean, I'm not going to do it, but I don't care. Like I'm not going to talk down to any kind of hunting.
Yeah.
Right. So it's so I'm always the guy that's like, I don't really do guided shit. You know, I just kind of DIY.
The price sets the expectation pretty high though.
I mean, it's overseas, so it's going to be badass.
Oh, okay. Oh, shit. Okay. All right. We'll leave it at that. We'll be looking out the video coming up.
We'll be ready.
Yeah.
Oh,
Zach.
Thanks, man. Thanks, guys, for having me on.
We appreciate you, Alaska.
Great time,
Thanks for listening. Check out Hardworking Hunter online, Alaska Wild Project online. Check out the merch. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We appreciate you guys listening. Thank you, and stay wild.
You remember my speaking to you of what I call your overcautiousness. Are you not overcautious when you assume that you cannot do what the enemy is constantly doing?
The Alaska Wild Project podcast is brought to you by the following sponsors.
Barney's Sports Chalet, supplying hunters with the best hand-selected gear since 1963. The exclusive home of frontier gear built for the rugged Alaskan terrain. Your one-stop shop for all your outdoor needs. Visit Barney's today at 906 West Northern Lights.
Arbor Digital, the forefront of digital assets, cryptocurrencies, and wealth management, providing a low-cost, research-based investment strategy for Alaskans looking to invest their hard-earned money. Visit arborcapital.io today to put your money to work.
Tailored Restoration 24-hour emergency home services, helping Alaskans restore their dreams since 1972. Services include fire, water, mold, post-emergency cleaning, repair, and remodeling. Give them a call in Anchorage, Eagle River, Matsu, or Fairbanks. Hit them up at tailoredrestorationalaska.com.
Total Truck and Alaska Overlander, Alaska's premier supplier for custom automotive accessories and overlanding products, providing all-inclusive rental vehicles and trailers custom outfitted to explore the Alaskan backcountry with a unique and convenient traveling experience.
Serrano's Mexican Grill, 2 locations, one on Tudor, one on Northern Lights. The Northern Lights location has their new tequila bar. Check it out. Also see their daily specials at serranosmexicangrill.com.
TheTreehouseAK.com, located at 341 Boniface Parkway, Alaska's own and grown cannabis and CBD store. Ask the bud tender what the strain of the day is to get your 10% off. The Treehouse, where the culture lives.
The Connoisseur Lounge, Alaska's premier locally owned and operated cannabis retailer, located in the heart of Palmer, Alaska. Their cultivated products include Snowcap Romance, Aurora Haze, Super Glue, and much more. Find them at theconnoisseurlounge.net.
AKO Farms, located in Sitka, Alaska, built from the ground up with concentrates as their single motivation, with exclusive products such as their sugar wax, full spectrum diamond sauce carts, and more. Ask your local bud tender about AKO. Marijuana has intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming and addictive. Marijuana impairs concentration, coordination, and judgment. Do not operate a vehicle or machinery under the influence. There are health risks associated with consumption of marijuana for the use of only by adults 21 and older. Keep out of the reach of children, and marijuana should not be used by women who are pregnant or breastfeeding.
The Bait Shack, located on Ship Creek upstream of the bridge. Can't miss the bright red shack. They are the go-to fishing gear rental and guide service on Ship Creek. Tight lines and fish on. Come hook into the action with them. Hit them up at thebaitshackak.com.
Anchortown Dogs, located on 4th Avenue across from the old 4th Avenue Theater. Look for the blue and gold umbrella. From reindeer dogs to bomb euros, they've got you covered. Anchortown Dogs, your local gourmet hot dog and sausage cart.
Crude Magazine, Alaska-based media outlet using the last frontier as a springboard to discover larger truths about the cultures of our great state. Read more at crudemag.com.
Lawn Pro AK, Alaska's year-round professional property maintenance team. Services include snow and ice management, weekly lawn care, and more. Get your free estimate today at lawnproak.com.
Double Shovel Cider Company, located off of Arctic and 58th. Handcrafted Alaskan-made colonial ciders. They also have a tap room downtown on the corner of 5th and E. Stop by today and taste an award-winning cider.
Lady with a Plan, your own Alaska event planner. From scouting the perfect location to planning the tiniest details, specializing in event management and production for intimate social gatherings. Find Lady with a Plan on Instagram.
Should you not claim to be at least his equal in prowess and act upon the claim? I say try. If we never try, we shall never succeed. This proposition is a simple truth, and it's too important to be lost sight of for a moment. If we cannot beat the enemy where he now is, we never can. It is all easy if our troops march as well as the enemy, and it is unmanly to say they cannot do it.